Okay, nako, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Welcome sa ating program. Ito po ang Legal Advice Corner, no? With yours truly, Sonny LARAGAN. Siyempre, kasama ho natin yung ating resident legal advisor, no? At walang iba kundi yung ating pinakamamahal na attorney, ang attorney ng bayan ho. Walang iba kundi sa attorney Dana Quinto. Attorney, magandang, teka muna. Ayan, okay, magandang gabi sa'yo. Good evening sa'yo.
Magandang gabi sa broadcaster ng bayan at sa buong kababayan natin sa UK. It's been quite a week. We've had updates sa pandemic. It's been quite a week here in the UK. I don't know if you've seen the news, Mr. Laragan, last Sunday ba yun? 22,000 cases na nagdagdag because of a technical glitch, and henceforth, just want to share. So medyo busy kami. So I just want to apologize people trying to contact the office. I think extra vigilant lahat ng legal industry. A lot of cases are, a lot of family and children cases are being heard at the moment. I don't know kung dahil tinatry i-move before ang winter, kung may magla-lockdown man. But we are experiencing a vigilant support, more remote hearing. If you are expecting a hearing in the next few days, ang mga face-to-face, for some reason are turning, may mga konting face-to-face hearing, they are turning into remote hearing as well. So just want to give that heads up, and also a wish that everyone is keeping well and safe. So good evening. I hope you are keeping well and safe. We're here again sa Legal Advice Corner, and for I hope you're okay, Mr. Laragan. You've been okay? Have you? Kamusta naman dyan?
Okay naman. The weekend was kind of rainy, di ba? The past, I think Monday, was it yesterday or today when we saw some sunshine? Kahapon yata.
I haven't seen sunshine.
Oh, you haven't seen it because you've been very busy, closeted in your room, in your office, no? Busy.
Nakakita na ako. I want to share this na so maliit yung room ko is not very big pero ang daming papel. So talagang mahilig ako na mainit, parang Pilipinas yung
Mahilig na mainit?
Mainit yung nakataas yung heating system.
Okay.
And almost to a point, akala nila may lagnat na ata ako. Sobrang init ng heating. But when you turn it off, I'm actually fine. So
okay. Is that how you work at the sa bagay ngayon parang malamig na dahil pa kumbaga second month na ng autumn, so palamig na ng palamig, no? So pero the past few months ba hindi naman naka-turn up ang heating mo, no?
No. Just the last few days, I think. Kasi malamig talaga dito. Biglang lumabig po sa Bedford. It's been a very, very windy, rainy, and cold.
Okay. Oo nga. Oo,
We had
last...
a substantial drop.
Oo, fine. Friday, Saturdays. I think it started pa yata ng mga Thursday or... Basta last week, no? Talagang tuloy-tuloy ang ulan. Yung kanina ko lang chinek yung balita, 14,000 naman ang cases. And Nottingham, di ba, Nottingham, they might be kind of strict, no? Dahil nagkakaroon ng high incidence na naman ng COVID, no? Ng infection doon sa lugar nila or sa cases.
Marami pa tayong kababayan sa Nottingham, I think, because of the hospital there. Parang nakikita ko lang sa feed ko, meron akong schoolmate doon, I think. So keep safe kayo dyan sa Nottingham. And sa lahat ng mga frontliners nating kababayan and everyone as well, parang period of extra vigilance. Nafe-feel din namin kahit kami extra vigilant, kahit ang bote. You know, they turned a face-to-face hearing into, obviously I don't know why, but within 24 hours ginawang remote hearing last 24 hours. So it's better safe than sorry.
Tama yun, because we're not sure nowadays, no?
Sure, yeah.
We've done everything. We've done all of these mga social distancing, although not everybody is, problema kasi, the responsibility is in each one of us, If we do our own share, maski paano, this thing would have been not really stop, but minimize, and we're not having this resurgence of the incidents, the cases, no, diba? The increase once again.
Exactly.
Oh,
Kaya yung
talking of,
tagline nila,
Mhm.
let's help protect each other. I think
Totoo
yun yung
yan, totoo
tagline
yan,
nila.
totoo yan.
That's the tagline. Yeah. You were
You
saying,
no, no, no.
sir?
You mentioned Nottingham having a hospital. I don't know if you noticed. It was about a year ago, a couple of years ago. We featured actually on the paper, sa cover story natin or cover story, one of our nurses there who won the Nurse of the Year award, and part of her
Oh,
award was that a train, the tram, yung tram, di ba? Tram, parang train
yun
pero
nga.
tram, was named after her.
Wow!
Oh
Ang
yeah,
galing!
yeah, yes.
Nakaka-proud. Ang galing!
We
Oh my
featured
God!
ours on the paper. So that was, kung makita ko yung issue maya-maya, siguro i-play ko. I-play
Yes, yes,
ko, i-feature ko. But yeah,
very
just like you, you're on the cover. Ito mga ito, yung vlogger natin from Nottingham. There's this chef, no, who has this restaurant called Jace's Kitchen, dyan sa may Bath. And
Yeah.
2 years ago, sa TripAdvisor, number one siyang restaurant out. Di ba, when TripAdvisor would rank anything, a hotel, a
Yeah,
restaurant.
correct.
So parang kunyari, 1 out of 400, di ba?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's say it's number 5 out of 700 hotels in that area. So ganun eh.
Yeah.
That particular restaurant, or parang ano niya, Jace's Kitchen, was number 1 on TripAdvisor. And the description, if you want to TripAdvisor and you would look at the description, it says Philippine food with a PH. Oh, so
Nakikita ko parati yan eh. Yung ganyang PH Philippine food.
oh,
Yeah, very, very,
and
very proud.
and the chef, I don't know, but you grew up in Mindanao. No, I don't know if you're familiar with Tondo. Tondo.
Ito po. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Tondo, di ba?
The
Parang it
pizza.
was in the in the olden days, it was talaga notorious, di ba? Notoriously known
I have heard that.
for violence, for ganyan, di ba?
Yeah.
Oo, pero yun nga, this guy came from there, family,
Galing.
the mom came over and well, eventually brought him, no, siyempre as a dependent, and ayan, he made good, no, he made he's doing well, good. So
Nakaka-proud na gano'n. Nakaka-proud. Yes.
yes,
Oh,
nakaka-proud din.
Again.
Nakaka-proud din, kamukha mo rin dahil you're a very young solicitor, no? At ano, bino mo naging ano ka na ngayon, 'di ba? You're a head, aside from being the head of litigation, you are also now a partner of the firm, 'di ba? The law firm. So, ayan, dapat ganun na pagpapakilala ko sa intro. Ladies and gentlemen, with me is, head of litigation and partner of Deo Valente Solicitors. Okay, attorney, ano pag-uusapan nga pala? What would you like to talk about tonight?
Yes. So, as sa discussion natin last week, we talked about how to defend the claim. And sabi ko, i-explain ko, ano mangyayari after that, after defending the claim? Ano pa yung stages of litigation or civil litigation proceedings? So, we're just going to pass by yung mga early stages, yung favorite mo, Mr. Laragan, which is the pre-action protocol.
Yes.
Daanan lang muna natin yun. So before everything starts, you have to try to settle out of court. That's called pre-action protocol. And
Okay.
then when they issue a claim, it
Mhm.
will be sent. It will be stamped by the court. It will be sent to you. Dadalhin sa inyo, ipopost sa inyo. And we mentioned last week that you have only so much time to acknowledge and defend. Now, what now? What now? Ano nang susunod dyan? After na-acknowledge at na-defend ko na, Mr. Laragan. So, what the court would do at that time, yung main court, which is CCMCC, is they will acknowledge this is now a defended claim. Magbibigay sila ng direction sa mga parties to fill out what we call an allocations questionnaire. So parang survey yan kung ano yung value ng claim mo, what do you think is the proper track for it. They will make an indication based on the value. We talk about 10,000, which is 10,000 or below, which is small claims, above 10,000 to 25,000, which is fast track, and then after that is multi-track. So yun lang, it's not about, hindi yan about sa kung ano yung korte, maliit ba yung korte o malaking korte. It really isn't about that. It's just a classification kung gaano ka-complicated yung kaso mo. So bibigyan ka ng survey ng korte. How many witnesses do you need? As early as that. Kasi they call it the housekeeping. May konting housekeeping dyan para mabigay nila sa right type of judge and right type of track, para kumbaga conveyor processing system. They will ask you kung na-comply mo ba yung pre-action protocol. They will ask you if ano yung estimate mo na trial period, if you know, ilan yung witnesses, and if may mga dates to avoid ka in the next 6 to 12 months. The reason being is they want to know your case as early as that para malaman nila kung ano yung resources ng korte na likely gagamitin mo. So it's very important. May again civil litigation, very very particular yung korte sa mga deadline. So lalagay doon, you must by this date. Again, this is the two magic words na we learned last week: file and serve. File with the court and serve on the other side. Yung survey, yung allocation questionnaire mo. So you give that off to the court, and then they will process it and they will allocate you to that claim, whether small claims, whether fast track, or whether multi-track. Depending on the claims, malilit lang naman yung difference you will then get what we call a directions, an order for directions. So that's very, very important. That will set out kung ano yung listahan ng dapat mong gawin for the next few months. Sasabihin ng korte, and we're going into the stages now. So you have a directions order from the court. This is now, say, a fast track claim. And you must buy, I always say this, ito yung pinaka-importante sa civil litigation, para homework to. You have a deadline. Pag hindi mo na-comply yung deadline, you could possibly be struck out. I.e., talo ka agad, by default. Tatanggalin yung korte. If you're a claimant, you'll be struck out or your case is dismissed. In the same way, kahit defendant ka, you can be struck out and the other side wins straight away. And there may be cost implication with that. The most important thing to note is follow the court's order and diarize your deadlines. So you have that directions order. By the word in itself, direksyon yan ng kaso mo. First stage is what we call disclosure. That's when you look at your case file, you look at your drawer, you look at your laptop, you look at your smartphones, you look at everywhere at hanapin mo lahat ng documents relating to your case, whether or not it's favorable for you or hindi. It doesn't mean na tatago mo yung hindi mo gusto and then you only disclose it later, because that's not disclosure. That's not a full disclosure. The court will actually require you to do a full and frank disclosure, except dun sa mga correspondence mo sa abogado mo. And that's what we call litigation privilege. That's quite technical, but for your information, yun lang, very limited yung mga exemption dun sa disclosure na yun. For what it's worth, lahat ng mga documents relating to the dispute, you have to produce sa disclosure dun sa deadline na binigay ng korte. Now, what actually they want to do is magbigay ka muna ng listahan and you produce it to the other side, file and serve again. And the other side can say, ay, meron na ako nito. Meron na ako nito. Ay, ito, wala pa ako nito. Pengin nito. So that's what we call inspection. So they can actually ask for copies, or kung gusto nilang tingnan yung original, they can actually ask to inspect the original. Most of the time, we here as lawyers in the UK, we move on the assumption that if we follow your order and that people don't produce forged documents. But if there is a dispute as to the provenance, yung source ng dokumento, we can raise that as a matter of law, and we can ask for inspection. And later, meron talagang nag-ask for a handwriting evidence or handwriting expert analysis. But let's park it there for today. So session ito, all you need to do is within disclosure, you can have an inspection as well. So you produce a list of documents, And they can say, o Dana, pahingi nga ng number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4. Or minsan talaga sasabihin nila, pahingi ng lahat. So it's easier for them to make sure na wala silang na-miss out. So you have to file and serve that. Once you've done with disclosure, dito pa lang lalabas yung witness statements. It's very, very important na lahat ng witnesses mo at this very early stage, kasi nabigay mo na. Technically, nabigay mo na lahat ng dokumento dito. So you'd be in a position that pwede ka nang magbigay ng witness statement. So in the future, sa trial, in the future, say months from now, hindi pwede mag-turn up lang yung random witness. You can't just go, oy kuya, may hearing bukas, punta ka ha, bigay ka evidence. It doesn't work like that. If you are going to be a witness, you have to give witness statement first and be available for cross-examination, examination in chief first, and then cross-examination at the trial, say months from now. So based on those disclosures, lahat ng dapat magbigay ng witness statement kailangan magbigay na. And again, go back to the same thing, parang college lang to, may deadline po tayo, and you really have to follow that deadline. Well, you can extend, you can agree with the other side to extend, but do not expect na bibigyan ka ng easy time ng other side. So for the purpose of this session, you have to follow that deadline. Again, sa mga makikita yan, you look at the directions order, which was sent to you after nagbigay ka ng allocations questionnaire. It says in very clear heading, directions order. So you produce your witness statement. Just a quick note, a witness statement is just basically your main evidence. Lahat ng gusto mong i-explain, lahat ng gusto mong i-clarify, lahat ng gusto mong i-point out, lahat ng gusto mong i-exhibit using your disclosure statements, and even explain yung mga ebidensya ng kabila. So not just to mount your case, but to defend the evidence being put forward by the other side. So this is your time to shine, really. This is your time to mount your claim or defend your case, or do a bit of both if there is a counterclaim. And most witness statements all witness statements must end with what we call a statement of truth, which is you confirming that the facts in the above witness statement are true. Pag wala yun, potentially pwede challenge yung witness statement, but it's for your lawyer to make sure na yung formalities and yung legal requirements ng witness statements are all in there. And may mga formatting requirements actually, according dun sa, which I mentioned last time, civil procedure rules. Again, every single time may assignment tayo sa korte, we always do file and serve, FNS, as we call it sa legal term namin sa team namin. May mga slang kami, so we call it file and serve. Some we just say file and serve. Sometimes I just say FNS. Tinatamad kami sabihin yung buong term. But in any event, it's file with the court, serve on the other side. Always, you work on the assumption na lahat na inform mo, kung ano yung ebidensya mo, kung ano yung na-submit mo, kung ano yung mga na-comply mo na deadline. Now, almost at the same time as well, this is the time kung may experts, look back at the directions. Early on, the court may do a case management hearing pala just to, kung kailangan. So the court may at very early on, before pa ng disclosure, they might say, kailangan ba ng expert dito? So all this experts and participants sa trial, you don't just call them 24 hours before trial. Actually, it's all being set out as early as case management hearing. So you will tell the court, I want this expert. The other side will say, we don't want that expert. And kung hindi kayo mag-agree, the court will just make, again, a directions on your behalf. So at that time, around witness statement, the expert will also provide a report. You can raise questions if you want to, or kung may direction doon, both parties can raise questions. If it is a joint expert, parehong partido yung magbibigay ng instruction. But at the end of the day, we all go back kung ano yung in-order ng korte. So very, very early on talaga, sa umpisa pa lang, malalaman mo na kung ano yung mga gagawin sa case na to. Kung may expert ba, kung ilang weeks ba yung kailangan mo para sa witness statement mo bago ka umuwi Pilipinas. So, roughly kung kailangan ko pala gawin to before ako mag-holiday or kailangan kung may trial before ako, I shouldn't go on holiday on this. So, to be fair, medyo organized sila. They try to be organized here. So after ng experts, sabi mo, trial na ba? Dana, trial na, ito na ba? Actually, no. You will have a stop, lalo na sa more complicated cases. Pipit stop muna. Ito na yung konti, we're gonna have a pre-trial hearing or pre-trial review, PTR. Doon yung magbabayad ka ng hearing fee mo para gamitin yung korte for the final hearing. If you're the claimant, and the court would just look at everything and say, are we all systems go for a final trial? The reason being is that trial, as you know, here in the UK, the whole civil litigation, it's expensive. It takes a lot of resources, hindi lang resources ng claimant, hindi lang resources ng defendant, but resources ng korte. The court would want to make sure that if there is a trial, lahat ng participants, lahat ng kailangan na ebidensya, lahat na kailangan ng korte ay andyan, ready para in order for them to make a determination at that day. So there is that vigilance to be able to keep that case organized, ready for an effective trial. So sabihin ng korte, you're not quite ready yet. Nag-aaway pa rin kayo about sa expert nyo, asan na itong mga ebidensya na to. I will make further directions, I can, if ganun ang required, bago yung trial. So, last plancha, especially with bigger, more complicated cases, last plancha, in order to get the case na hinog para for judicial overview, tinatawag. Now, at any point in time done, even pre-action, even early after defense or before defense, or disclosure, or experts, pre-trial, before you incur one of the biggest costs of litigation, you may want to try to solve the dispute amicably. So, kami, as lawyers, we have a duty to tell you at each stages of litigation, yung mga pinagsasabi ko, mga pit stop natin. We have to look at landscape, titingnan ko ano ba, kamusta yung ebidensya, pwede na ba tayong mag-settle? Would it be, ano ba yung cost and benefit analysis? Magkano ba yung gagastusin ng kliyente ko? Are we arguing less sum? Can we make a commercially astute solution, commercially astute offer? So at all times, pwede kang magbigay ng offer. You can consider mediation, alternative dispute resolution, pwede mong tawagan, pwede kang mag-offer directly, pwede kang mag-offer via letter. Obviously, the more formal, the better, para makita mo sa korte, you tried everything. Now, kung wala pa rin talaga, you really can't settle, and there are cases. It's very my experience, and I will, share this. I've shared this with mga kliyente ko, is that hindi ganun kadami yung dumarating ng trial. Because of costs, it's highly costly, and B, it could be highly risky as well. If it is an expert-based case, hopefully by that time, alam mo na kung sino yung pupuntahan ng expert, if it's joint expert, kung sino yung parang favor ng expert, anong position pinifavor ng expert. If it is, kung magkakaiba kayo ng expert, that becomes that becomes riskier. We call it a beauty parade of experts, wherein an unexperienced judge would have to, by unexperienced, I mean technically, so say for example, construction work, or your expert would be expert in construction, expert in surveying, expert in ganito, but you have a judge who's an expert in law and not an expert in construction. So they would have to look at two competing, very competent people saying two different things, and you don't really know half the time kung ano yung kung saan mag-lean towards yung judge. And because of that litigation risk, yung sinatawag namin litigation risk, napupush ang maraming tao to settle. Very, very rarely, however, very rarely, hindi lang, is, I don't have the statistics, but it's not common na ang default position is go all the way to trial. But there are cases where talagang pupunta sa trial. So you prepare for trial. You actually start preparing for trial about 3 weeks or 4 weeks in advance. You make sure lahat ng participants mo, it's like showtime, it's game time, it's game day. So lahat, when you look at the order, months ago, tawag kong directions order, titingnan mo doon, na-comply na ba lahat? Lahat ng disclosure, lahat ng witness statement, lahat ng experts, tawagin lahat ng witnesses so that they'll make sure available sila pumunta sa trial date, experts available sa trial date, and then you start producing your trial bundle and you try to agree it with the other side. So that alone, we're talking about, at least the rough idea is 350, 700 pages. That's normal. To almost really, thousands and thousands of pages. And depende sa complexity ng case mo, it will mean longer trial preparation. So, parang ano yan eh, parang yun yung game day na, as I've said, this is it. This is when you test your evidence finally, but you don't prepare for it 24 hours before. May practice session, may preparation. So you do that weeks and weeks in advance, and you may want to have one final chat with your client, and the rest of the team to consider maybe settling it, and then kung hindi talaga, obviously you turn up at trial, and then you wait for judgment. So those are the stages of litigation. At least your first stage up until judgment. So you have pre-action protocol, you have issuing the claim form, defending the claim, allocations questionnaire, case management hearing, if it is an appropriate case, disclosure and inspection, witness statements, experts' evidence, pre-trial review, and finally, the trial and the judgment.
Ayan, sandali. Ayan, sandali lang ha. Okay. Ayan, right. Okay, nako, ayan. Napakinggan nyo. At attorney,
buhay ng isang kaso.
Oo, yung parang stages na yan, no? Naikwento mo na, no? Pero teka muna. Ipasok ko lang yan, no? Ito may pagbati siya, no? Yung daughter ni Edgar Duway, no? Sabing gano'n niya. Sabi ni Edgar, ito, sabi niya, me and my daughter, Alexandra, is listening, or listening, so, and she's asking what topic it's all about, no? She's building interest about the career, yan. Magiging future solicitor yan. Ano topic? Sige, padaan lang.
Alexandra, this is, if you're, sabi ng dad mo last week, you're interested in litigation. So this is your life. This is your life day in, day out. You're looking at yung life cycle ng isang kaso mo from pre-trial, pre-action protocol up until
attorney, ano yata to? Dito na ba lumaki yan? Made and produced in the UK, baka.
No, we can have a second version.
Sige, okay.
Thank you. Hi, Alexandra. So, your dad said you are very interested in a career in law, and you're looking to be a civil litigator, like myself. So, the topic is pretty much what you will do day in, day out in your life as a litigator. It's the life cycle of a case. So when it starts as a pre-action matter, not yet with a court, and you have issued a claim, and you get the other side, or you defend the claim, or the other side defends the claim, and then you write an allocation questionnaire, file and serve the allocation questionnaire. You do a case management hearing as a housekeeping exercise to be able to look at all the requirements from now until the end. And then you give what we call a directions order, which is pretty much a list of homework Just like in school, you have a homework and you have a deadline. So the court will give you that. And most of the time, these are deadlines for the following: disclosure and inspection, so producing the documents, witness statements, getting everyone, all the witnesses, to have a written statement, to give a written statement, including exhibits, and then experts' evidence, getting your experts, if you only have one expert, getting them to produce a report. If you have two experts or each party has their own expert, they both have to produce a report and they can argue about each other's report. You have a pre-trial review as one final review. You have your trial and you have your judgment. So that's pretty much the life cycle of your case.
Life cycle. Okay, so the life cycle of a
cycle.
case. Ayan. Okay.
Pretty much the life cycle of a case.
Edgar, sana nasagot na yan, no? Total topic lang naman ang tinanong mo. So, okay yan. Okay, we have here some pagbati and then some questions. We have here si Juliet Marcelino, no? She said siya ang una-unang bumate. No, si Edgar actually bumate una. Pangalawa to. Pero siguro, ito na, i-acknowledge lang natin, no? Si Juliet Alviedo Marcelino. Yeah, there she is, no? Juliet. Yes, hi Juliet, no? Ayan. And then ayan. Ito tapos sabi ni Hazel Antan, no? Hello Pinoy Radio UK. Hello Kuya Sunny. Sabi niya, no? Thank you.
Parang Pino Radio.
Pinot, may T, no? Pinot.
Right.
Ito, Daisy Esguerra, we had her last night on the Sonny LARAGAN show. Maganda reaction niya, no? Good evening, Kuya Sunny, and to all the viewers, no? Ayan.
Daisy.
Tapos, meron pa siyang, ano ba tawag dito? Avatar ba to? Avatar?
Oh, hi.
Ayan, oh, may avatar. Lumalabas pa yung avatar sa atin. Ayan. And sabi niya, wow, good evening, Sunny and Attorney Dana. Nice to see you both again tonight. Ayun, lagi na siyang natutuwa, no?
Good evening to you as well. Nice to see you.
Good evening, Attorney Dana from Daisy Esguerra once again. And si Yan Galicia Paner, good evening po, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana.
Good evening, Yan. Good evening.
Ito, si Patsy Pinilla, civil cases, bollocks here, white on white. Two cases, two cases alang panalo, one wet, big evidence. There's ruled for enemy, no chance.
This is hard. It's personable.
Mabuhay Dana and Kuya Sunny. Sabi niya, yup, happened. Struck, ano ba ito?
Struck out in the first hour.
First hour. Ayan. If you can afford lawyers, get one. Ayan. If you can afford lawyers, get one. Well, I'm just Attorney Dana. No? Ayan ang kung ano pa. Yeah. Ayan na. Okay, sabi ni Attorney, good evening po, Attorney Dana from France Pinedo, and Sir Sunny, God bless po, mabuhay, and to all the kababayans around the world, mabuhay, keep safe. Si Ma'am Cora, yes, Ma'am Cora Corsola, hello Sir Sunny, our great solicitor Dana, great solicitor Dana Quinto, and all. Am listening, learning, and may share them to others needing help or advice. May Tiglao.
Thank you.
Good evening and hello, good evening Sir Sunny and Attorney Dana watching from Exeter, Devon. Mabuhay ka, May Tigbaw, no? Eto na, may question dito. Sabi niya, good evening Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana, watching from Canada Water. I'm watching a TV program which the tenant is not paying the rent for 6 months. The landlord takes them to court and it took another 5 months for eviction. The tenant waited until the day of the bailiff arrived siguro, and ang landlord hindi na nabayaran sa renta and the house is sira-sira. May habol ba ang landlord sa tenant na umalis nang hindi nabayaran almost 1 year?
Yes, straightforward answer is yes, you can claim. It's still a breach of contract. You can claim it as a debt claim. I think it depends on kung ano yung ginamit mo na possession proceedings. If you base it on Section 8, you may be able to get a judgment with that. If you get it with Section 21, yung accelerated procedure, no fault divorce, they won't touch the debt, yung rent arrears, but you can actually sue the tenant for the rent arrears separately, and you can sue them within 6 years. You don't have to do it straight away. Obviously, please do it straight away because mawawalan ka, magiging less yung argument mo for interest, but it's still treated as a breach of contract. I want to comment on, because I do a lot of landlord-tenant, Mr. Laragan, and I do a fair bit for landlord as well. So I empathize with kung ano yung pinaghirapan, yung pinagdaanan ng whether it's you or this particular case. 5 months, unfortunately, is not exceptionally slow. Ganun talaga. It's the common feedback is na sabi ng mga kliyente ko, it's a very pro-tenant legal system. And yes, to an extent it is. Talagang mahirap, you have to go through the rigmarole. And sometimes you have to wait for the bailiff. That happens. But you still have that right to claim for rent arrears. Do not forget that, because this is what I'm going to say. This is the same. Funny enough, this is one of my cases today, one of my advice given today. People move on from their lives. 6 years is a lot. So you have 6 years to sue them. That's breach of contract. That's limitation clause. But actually, if you get the judgment, kasi wala ka namang maano dyan eh, it's very hard to defend kung talagang hindi mo binayaran yung renta mo. In terms of dilapidation, you can also sue for that. You may need evidence. Always talk about evidence. You may need surveyor or just a builder to say, oy, ito yung damage. Or you can check yung check-in and check-out list. You can have an estimate of your loss kung may check-in inventory ka and may check-out inventory, and yung damages niya is this, and you can set it out yourself. You can sue for that as well. You can have a look at kung asan yung deposit niya. You can take it out from the deposit. Pero most of the time, I accept it, kulang talaga yung deposit. 5 months of waiting. My experience is mataas na mataas yung rent arrears, mataas yung repair, disrepair calculation. Sue them. You may say, sinasabi ng kliyente, oh, wala naman pera, paano yun ako mababayaran? This is what normally happens, and this is what I learned from another estate agent as well, or landlord. You get your judgment. Most of the time, hindi nga mahirap nga i-defend, lalo na yung rent arrears element. So you get a judgment, and that judgment is alive for 6 years. Nasa credit rating nila yun. Nandun yan sa record of judgment, record of CCJ. And sometimes, 6 years is a long time. 6 years, people move on. They may have a hard time nung tenant sila, but then for some reason they got a better job, and suddenly they're wanting to buy a house, and they're wanting to get a mortgage, and then ta-da! What appears in their credit rating is a judgment, say 4 or 5 years ago. And this has happened to a few of my clients. They would get the random phone call saying, by the way, I'm so sorry, that was 4 years ago. I need a mortgage now. Can I settle this judgment, please? So yes, you can sue, and yes, it is worth suing because you have 6 years to enforce that, and it will stay alive sa credit rating ng tenant for 6 years. And that may just be the bargaining chip that you need for getting paid at some point in the future.
Paano, attorney, kung after 6 years, wala na? Parang yun ang loophole dyan ngayon. Parang gagawin ng kung sino man yun. Maghihintay ako na after 6 years.
Yes, unless they started doing an installment payment. Pag may mga if they've done an installment, but yes, if they don't pay at all, yes, 6 years is the finality of it.
After 6 years, wala na. So they bought a house, perhaps they wanted to have a mortgage after the 6 years, halimbawa, no? But not necessarily deliberately doing it. But it so happened that their circumstances became better at a later time, probably after 6 years. So wala na yun. Hindi lalabas yun.
That is a risk. Yeah, that is a risk.
Oh, okay.
You can only enforce it kung may, as I've said, the other exemption is if there are installment payments, tapos hindi niya na-complete within 6 years, you can get a refreshing of the judgment. But kung talagang walang payment, talagang naghintayan lang ng 6 years, yes.
So wala pala, hindi pwede ma-compel talaga ng tenant. For example, kamukha niyan, 1 year hindi nagbayad, dinimanda niya, nanalo siya, meron lang parang alive lang yan within 6 years. Pero wala bang teeth na pwede siyang, is there anything that...
You you
Oo.
can do attachment of earnings kung alam mo kung saan siya nagtatrabaho. You can do attachment of earnings.
Attachment of earnings po pwede yun. So
Attachment of earnings.
yun ang mga tipong biteable things that you can do. For
Biteable
example.
things.
Oo.
You can try to bankrupt them, but that shouldn't be a debt collection mechanism.
You could what? You could ano yun? You could?
You can try to do a statutory demand.
Oo.
Statutory demand, yung parang ibabluff mo kung mababankrupt ba, kung wala ba talaga, kung insolvent ba talaga tong taong to.
Ano yan? Is it an action by the yung tenant na naghahabol, yung claimant?
Yung landlord, yeah. If you have a judgment, and if it's above a certain period, pwede mo silang takutin i-bankrupt.
Di ba?
But kung wala nang, if they have nothing to lose, it wouldn't have any impact on them. But what you can do, may attachment of earnings. You can do a bailiff application for trying to find their car, etc. But it's expensive. I would say do that kung talagang may napakagandang kotse at kaya mong makuha talaga. Because i-auction yun nung bailiff. But wala ka na makukuha at the end. Mapupunta lang dun sa bailiff yung fees. That's the reality. So you can do attachment of earnings. Kaya nga, at the start of it, you do your credit check with your tenant. Titingnan mo saan ba nagtatrabaho to. Para mapalo mo yung enforcement mo. So yun yung mga biteable things.
You mentioned okay, you mentioned mga CCJs, no? Para sa mga maring merong may alam, maring hindi alam kung ano yung CCJ. Ano ba 'tong mga CCJs? Minsan pag no CCJ, ano ganyan, parang ganyan, di ba? Ano ba yan? Ano ba yung CCJ?
It's just an abbreviation po, County Court Judgment.
Ano yan? Bakit county court? Saan yan? Anong level? Kamukha sa Pilipinas, merong municipal court, merong regional trial court, ganyan.
That's the first tier.
The first tier, parang court of first instance nung araw. And then you go to
CCJ, yeah.
CCJ.
High court judgment, talaga napakalaki ng judgment against it. It's a judgment anyway. So CCJ just means County Court Judgment.
Okay, all right. Okay, may another, hindi ko alam kung tanong to, no? From Mike Cardona. Okay. Ilalabas natin, nasa may to. Mike Cardona. Oy, nawala. Sandali, nawala. Tingnan natin kung ayun, pero napakalitin, no? Babasahin ko na lang. Yung mga nakakabasa dyan, yung mga nasa Facebook thread, no? Mike Cardona says, good evening po. Can I get advice? We are renting a shared house. All bills shared house, all bills included, stated in the agreement. And then one tenant finished his contract, and then apparently this month we received from the council our name registered there to pay the tax starting March till the first quarter for the following year. Our tenancy is 1 year. Nung kumpleto pa yung umuupa, wala pang problem. But nung 2 months nang bakante yung isang room, sabi ng landlord, talo na siya kaya pinapabayaran niya sa amin ang council tax. Yan, hindi ko alam kung may kadugtong Yes.
Mike, ang kailangan mong tingnan is ikaw lang ba yung may license agreement doon sa, I think, room? Is it just you and landlord yung may agreement? Or kayong apat? We talk about this, Mr. Ryan. Remember, kung joint sila, apat sila.
Oo.
Apat sila. Tapos sila lahat nag-sign.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not sure kung
jointly and severally, gano'n ba? Jointly and severally liable?
I'm not sure tenant finish his contract. I don't know exactly kung talaga na-finish niya yung contract niya o umalis lang siya because I'm reading between the lines na sinasabi ng, talo na ako. I don't know kung biglang may nag-automatic renewal yon. If he finishes his contract, there should have been a new contract na you entered with your landlord stipulating na kung kayo lang yung kumbaga per room lang kayo, you're just paying pro rata. Kasi kung hindi, jointly and severally liable kayo sa buong bahay, sa buong bills. That could be possible depending sa contract, depending sa wording ng contract. The other option, yung pinaka is you have a direct HMO contract sa landlord mo, hindi AST, it's just a...
sabi mo? HMO?
It's just a license. Kung house, iba yung house.
Ano ibig sabihin ng HMO?
Housing in multiple occupation.
Okay. Housing in multiple occupation.
minsan meron ka sariling kontrata na wala kang pakialam sa lahat na nakatira, kung sino man Procopio yung nakatira sa bahay, pero ikaw at ang landlord, meron kang kontrata lang sa room. That's different. Kasi kahit na problema ng landlord kung umalis yung nasa room 3, nasa room 4, it's just you and the landlord for your, say, room 1. However, kung kayo magbabarkada and
nagsama-sama.
Kayo lahat, kahit umalis pa, maglayas pa yung kabarkada mo, lahat kayo obligado doon. Until mag-end talaga yung contract, or fully end yung contract, or you renegotiated the contract again. Because hindi pwede isa lang yung lalabas doon. It's a joint and several liability contract.
Ayan.
So,
kung isa lang, kunyari kung kwarto mo lang, yun ang usapan nyo sa landlord, wala ka ng problema sa iba, no? I mean, pero kung isang grupo kayo, pumasok kayo doon sa bahay na yon at sama-sama kayo umupa, pero isa doon sa mga kasamahan mo umalis, liable pa rin kayo. Actually, liable pa rin yung isa na yun eh. Hanggat hindi pa tapos yung kontrata. Oo.
Or lahat kayo, hindi lang pwede siya aalis kasi yung kontrata nun is for that property. And then kung may aalis na isa, you technically have to renegotiate with your landlord. Sasabihin ng landlord, I'm treating you as one entity. Wala akong pakialam kung umalis yung isa, basta isang grupo kayo. Kung gusto niyo yung bahay, 4 yung kwarto niyan, maghanap kayo ng isa o 3 kayo, 4 yung kwarto, yung study room, divide by 3. So that's the other option. You have to know kung alin doon yung kontrata mo. I'm thinking yung barkada contract. Feeling ko barkada contract yung...
linawin mo lang, Mike Cardona, kung barkada contract yan o yan ay although shared kayong lahat, pero tig-isa kayong kontrata sa bawat kwarto, walang pakialam kayo, no? Na tipong kung may mawala, doon pa rin sa landlord yung kung whatever it is, no? O sa house, sa council tax, no? Oo.
The reasoning with that is, pag barkada contract kayo yung may sabi kung sino yung nakatira sa bahay, di ba? Kayo yung may control kung sino yung sasabihin ng landlord yung bahay, bahala kayong maghati pero lahat kayo liable. It doesn't matter kung may aalis sa inyo or may lalayas, but all of you are liable. If single contract, if you're just having a room contract, lodger ka lang, that's different. Kasi the landlord can just say, okay, I'll put whoever I want there. Kung sino yung, and I'll give them a separate contract as well. That's a different scenario.
Okay. Ayan maliwanag yan. Okay, ito si Edgardo Cagahastian. Teka muna, may parang sa Enriquez na may follow-up siya. Thanks. So, teka muna. Mike, sabihin mo kung solo ka lang ba o isang grupo kayo nagsama-sama. At saka curious lang ako, anong lugar yan? Anong council ba kayo nakatira, no? Kasi meron kasing mga borough na mataas ang council tax, may mga borough na mababa. Kalimbawa, Westminster at saka Wandsworth, yan, mabababa ang council tax niyan compared to sa mga Lambeth, no? Oh, yes. Okay. Sabi ni Edgardo Cagastian, thanks Kuya Sonny and Dana, sabi niya. Very informative. The TV program ends that the tenant is leaving with the eviction notice and going to council for emergency accommodation. The landlord is upset due to house has been damaged. Mabuhay kayo. Teka muna, walang nahabol tong ganun ba yun? Parang kawawa naman.
I have in the past, Edgardo, I've heard this in my practice, yung hihintayin talaga ng council, yung bailiff na magbigay ng eviction notice bago nila tanggalin. So, you cannot, for information ng mga kababayan natin, kahit may possession order ka na, bawal mong ikaw yung pumunta doon. You actually have to ask a court bailiff to come in and take possession of you, and that can set you back another month. So that is an additional mini procedure towards the end. And minsan, yung mga talagang eligible for emergency accommodation o homelessness, yung council, knowing hindi yung resources nila, alam mo yun, hindi naman
kalaki to house everybody.
They buy time too. So what they try to do is do it at the last minute. So they produce a bailiff notice. So pag-produce mo ng bailiff notice, only a few days, this is from my own experience, 2 to 3 days before, I've had that, even on the day before, I've been with the bailiff myself, one of the cases, turning up there, and umalis lang yung yung tenant the night before. So, yes, nangyayari yan. Landlord has said due to house being damaged, take photographic evidence, do still a checkout kahit wala na sila, still do a checkout inventory kasi as I've said, you can claim for disrepair. So yeah, understandably the landlord would be upset.
Wow. Pero yung mga bailiff attorney, may baril ba yan? O meron bang parang force? May force ba yan na pag dumating, medyo matatakot yung ano? Ano ba yan? Ordinaryong tao lang ba yan na pwedeng itulak lang?
Ordinaryong tao, to be fair, wala naman yung mga nakatinan ko. Pero ano lang,
hindi, nag-worry ako, sinamahan mo, baka mamaya yung palalabasin nyo, pagka laki-laking tao, tapos yung bailiff nyo, ganyan kalit na tao, di ba?
Actually, sa akin sa akin, tapos mo tapos mo. Nasa abroad yung kliyente ko. So ako yung sabi ko, sige, tapos punta pa, bata pa ako.
Kamukha niya, attorney, biglang, may insurance ka ba? May insurance ka siguro, let's say, kung biglang inatake ka ng inatake yung bailiff kasama ka. May ba part of the hazards of your profession?
Yeah, it's part of the hassle. I mean, you have to take it. Wala akong, part of the job, but I have to, obviously, I know the risk. I know na in advance, I kind of have an idea kung ano yung family na yun, ano yung character nun. So, I wouldn't necessarily go there kung feeling ko drug den yung pupuntahan ko. I probably would. May risk assessment po kami sa bailiff. So, if we think may aso, may mga question, may aso, may kung
may risk assessment. Dito sa UK, sa Pilipinas, walang ganyan, Basta pupunta lang, diba? May dala pang tubo, no? Parang, lalabas ka ba dyan? Hindi. Ikaw? Gano'n, no? Dito, may risk assessment ba, no? May aso ba? Wala. Yung hagdanan ba? Madulas. May diba? Madami pang no?
Ang dami. Tapos kung kailangan mo ng police, minsan, pwede ka mag-request ng police.
Teka muna. May bayad ba yan? Sabi mo, might set you back a month. Pero will it also set you back a bit? Merong 500 pounds yung bus?
121
120 pounds. Oh, okay.
And you have to organize your own locksmith kasi sisirain niya talaga yung door mo. Again, this is from my own experience. Ewan ko ba bakit ko sinamahan yung bailiff?
Teka muna. Kung nilock na gano'n, kasi siguro maring lumabas lang saglit yung tao, may sariling lock yung nakatira pa doon, yung tenant, tas isisirain. Paano kung umuwi yun? Paano yun?
Makikita mo naman. So far, wala.
Sisirain din niya yung pintuan niya ulit. Tapos sisiraan kayo.
Sisiraan.
Oo, hindi. Kasi sisiraan.
Tatawag mo ng police. I think tatawag mo ng police. To be honest, I've not experienced yung gano'n na kalala.
Ganun kalala?
Medyo takot yung tao dito. Talaga.
Okay.
And pag feeling mo tawag ka ng police. Tatawag ka talaga ng police. Kasi that's a court order. Bailiff talaga yun. May enforcement. But,
okay. Yeah. Well, since yan naman ang pinag-uusapan natin sa ngayon, curious lang ako, ano ang dapat, kunyari si SONNY Laragan, nakabili ng another property, hindi siya nagpupunta ron, medyo na-abandon niya na siguro mga, mga 3 months, 6 months. Pagbalik ni SONNY Laragan, may nakatira na, mga squatters. Hindi ko papapaalis yun, no? Ngayon, paano ka paalisin yung mga yun?
Okay, the first thing that you know there is kung may mortgage ka, just so you know, kung may mortgage yung second property mo. Okay lang kung may mortgage ka, what many people don't know is may condition dun sa mortgage mo that you cannot leave the property unattended for a number of days. I think more than 28 days sometimes.
Talaga, 28 days, hindi mo pwede, really,
Just have to look at that. It's
very
interesting.
Bakit? Because of this danger?
Exactly because of that.
Bakit ganun? Bakit hindi mo mapalayas dito? Ba't parang ang hirap? Why should that be included in as a condition or as a guideline or whatever it is, no? Bakit in this country ba parang pag tinauhan yung bahay mo, wala ka na magagawa? Ganun ba?
Pwede mo pang makakuha. So to answer your question, you can start possession proceedings against trespasser. Pwede kang maglagay persons, we've done it again, I've done it in the past as well, na hindi mo kilala sila lahat pero madami sila doon. You put persons unknown and notice to quit sa mga trespassers. So it's a slightly different issue kasi wala naman tenancy agreement doon eh. So you do that, it's the same procedure, you have to prove na ilalagay mo doon yung magsama ka ng malaking mama siguro pag maglalagay ka ng doon. So you have to paste the notice to quit dun sa door ng second property mo. And then you start
Notice,
to
ano? Notice to what again? Sorry?
notice to quit. Notice to quit.
To quit. Quit.
It's just, notice to quit. It's just a
A
terminology
term?
po sa amin. Terminology lang yun.
Which means?
Says, umalis ka na, trespasser.
Doon sa nakaloob, pagpasok, mababasa nyo, don't quit, ganon. So whoever
Notice to quit.
is squatting in your place, and they see
Correct.
that, don't quit, parang you're telling them na, hey,
Notice to quit po. Notice.
notice to quit.
Notice to quit, yeah. Notice to quit.
Okay. Parang dito
It's
tulet,
just
no?
a warning.
Parang bagong dating ka rin, sabi ko na, uy, ano, ba't lugar doon tulet? Parang toilet, o yun, tulet. To rent, for rent, di ba? O, tulet, o yan. So, notice to quit.
Lalagay mo sa door
Oh.
or somewhere. Minsan pwede mong tawagan ng pulis. Minsan pag mukha namang mga trespasser lang na ano, kung talagang nandun na, naglagay na ng sofa, naglagay ng bed.
doon na nanganak yung ano, doon na nagbuntis yun. Okay, sige.
So na,
Oo.
ano na, and mag-notice to quit ka na. And then you go to the court, explain the situation, and the same procedure. And yes, talagang malakas ang ano dito kahit trespasser. Maraming napipikon sa kung gaano kahirap kumuha ng possession proceedings dito. Yung pauna ko, it's a very pro-tenant or pro-occupier law. It's just the nature of the law in the UK. It's just the nature of it. Kaya kung ikaw ay nag-iisip maging landlord, really think about this. Really, really think about this because it can be costly, it can be hard, it can be a lot of headache. But meron din naman akong mga kliyente who's made a success out of it dahil they pick the right people, they pick the right tenant, and talagang, they've been doing it for 20 years. Meron akong kliyente noon who's massive landlord. Talagang sila yung kinakausap, very select, kilala lang nila. And they try to make a good relationship sa nila. So, it can happen, but the reality is, mahirap tanggalin. Mahirap talaga tanggalin.
Saan yan? Sa tenant na yan na umupa. Pero yun nga, yung mga taong nag-squat sa bahay mo, how much would it be expensive? Of course, a stressful episode or experience of your life, no? Magastos ba yan? Kunyari, gusto mong notice to quit. Teka mo na, yung notice to quit ba para doon sa mga tenant mo talaga o notice to quit doon sa mga squatter na pumasok sa kwarto mo, sa bahay mo?
Persons unknown. Kung kilala mo, lagay mo, and persons unknown. Yung nakalagay.
Notice to quit and persons unknown.
Kung kilala mo yung tao, tapos may kilala ka pang ibang tao. Kung kilala mo, kung wala kang kilala, lagay mo lang to persons unknown. This is a notice to quit, blah, 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 blah. So yes, it is expensive. It is expensive. Ikaw na yung na-trespass kasi ikaw pa yung
sa batas pagka di ba, may parang na-mitigate yung mga kasalanan dahil kunyari you were provoked at nasaktan mo, naunahan mo. Halimbawa diyan sa pikon mo na hindi ka binabayaran o hindi umaalis sa sa property mo, nasa lubong mo hinampas mo ng tubo. Criminal, ikaw mas makukulong ka pa, no? Ikaw pa mas kawawa. You don't have the right to hurt him bagamat he's hurting in a way by staying in your place, no? Naka-squat.
Correct.
Magastos ba yan, attorney? Magastos ba yan? Would it be a very expensive exercise to sue, to go to court or whatever, to seek legal redress or legal no? Pwede yan?
Could be very expensive. Yeah, it could be very expensive. Technically, you can get your costs from them, but kung may reason ba't sila nagte-trespass because they can't afford housing, so that's the reality of it. Hindi ganun ka nangyayari dito in reality, but nangyayari siya every now and again. So that's the reason why we always say to the client, read your mortgage conditions. Actually, kailangan mong sabihin, just read it. May nakalagay doon that you must inform us. Either you must inform us if you are to leave the property unattended for more than 28 days. Madami pa namang nagpupunta sa Pilipinas more than 3 weeks or 4 weeks sa atin. So just read your na may ganon, because they can say that's a breach of mortgage conditions. I've heard that happen. Not in my case, but I've heard that happen.
Okay, sandali Ito si Mike Cardona sabi niya the contract asan to? The contract tama ba yan? Okay, the contract, uh, andiyan na ba, attorney? Nasa iyo na ba? Hindi pa.
Hindi pa po eh.
Hindi pa. Okay. So, ayan. So, sabi ni Mike Cardona, that contract started March and the council bill was dated March as well. So, clearly, the landlord never paid any single penny for the council tax, which is obviously breach of contract. Ayun.
So you can do is write. So
Sandali, attorney, sandali. May nasa una pala, something that, before it pala, sorry. My apologies. May nauna pa palang information dito. Sabi niya, the contract actually is for 3 bedrooms. 1,002 all in all, kasama all bills. I'm with my wife and child, plus friend. Then yung supposedly living room was converted as another room, which was occupied by another family. Oh, another family pala, which just moved out last August. So we were together from March to August. Then after they moved out, the landlord would like us to pay all the bills and forwarded our name in council. Ayun. Tapos yun nga, the contract started in March. No? Yun. Nabasa mo ba yun kanina? Nakita mo yun?
Yeah, it's going to start in March. So we're going to deconstruct yung mga issue. The first issue is about the March payment. So about the March payment, you can simply say, look, I paid my bit, ito yung kontrato ko, ito yung bank statement ko, I paid that. In terms of yung tenancy mo when someone moved out, again, you have to go back to the starting point, which is your tenancy condition. Kung ang condition mo lang is yung house contract, I don't know what was agreed about yung another living room renting where it could be na, because the contract, the landlord can say, look, as far as I'm concerned, you're my tenant and your friend. I don't care what you do with it. Kung lagyan mo ng other person, I don't know kung ano yung mga yung agreement surrounding that. So you have to go back to sa agreement na yon. Now, if magkaiba yung contract sa other family, you have to ask your landlord, meron ba siyang license to rent it as a house HMO, yung house in multiple occupation. Kasi kung that could be a penalty kung more than marami-rami yung pamilya sa isang bahay, they have additional requirements yung council. So wala na obviously ngayon kasi nag-move out na. I don't know, maybe because of HMO as well. So always go back to the contract kung ano ba yung sinasabi, if ang nirenta mo lang yung bahay o nirenta mo yung kwarto. Because I think what you said is 3 bedroom, but it's you and your friend, but 1,200. But then at some point there was a change in the dynamics, may dinagdag. It may be just because to put the rent down, I don't know. But the last point of contact was the one in writing where it says na you're renting a 3-bedroom flat for 1,200 including bills. So just look at your contract kung yun ba, the whole room, and kung may change ba dun sa wording when the other family came in. Because he could have said, look, at the first instance, you were happy to take the 3-bedroom house just with you and your friend for 1,200. But then this family came around for whatever reason, and there was no change in contract. It may just be, just to lessen the bill. So just have a look at that. Have a read. I'm happy to read it for you. So if you send it to my email, I'm happy to read it for you. It's always about the contract. It's always about reading the contract, Mike. So I'm sorry that medyo blunt yung advice. As I've said, we don't sugarcoat. What we're not here to sugarcoat the law. We're here to tell you exactly kung ano yung law. Here, you're better off. You're better served with honesty than sugarcoating.
Okay, all right. Ayan, no? Okay, so, teka muna, you mentioned about kung baka pwede kanyang i-email for something lang. Ito yung email address lang para makita mo. Ayan, D Quinto lang, no? D Dana Quinto, D Quinto at DB Solicitors.
D. Quinto po.
Ano?
D. Quinto.
Ayan, ano ba sabi ko?
Dana Quinto ata.
Ayan, naka-flash naman. Ayan, D. Quinto. Ayan, D. Ganda lang, ganda bagkisa nun. D. Ayan, D. Wala muna. D. Quinto. Ayan, D. Quinto at dvsolicitors.com. Ayan, hindi naman mahirap. D.
And
Tapos,
my, we're not going to charge you for it. Let me have a look at the contract and I will tell you my honest feedback about
no, pag eventually kailangan naman nila abogado, de syempre, yung mga nanonood ho, pagka anything ho na ano, pwede nyo hong tawagan si Attorney Dana kung gusto nyo siya ang mag-represent sa inyo. At, kailangan nyo ng matibay na abogado, no? Small but terrible. Ayan, sabi nga nila, no? Ayan, petite but terrible. Ayun. Okay.
telepathy.
Oh, teka muna. Meron ditong si Edgar Duway, hindi ko alam kung anong ano to. Dito bang property to? Sabi niya same thing. Same thing daw, attorney. Sabi niya, same thing happened to me, di ko mapalaya sa mga walang hiya. Away pa ng away sa bahay ko. Nirereklamo pa na ng kapitbahay. Buti na lang ilang beses na pinasyalan ng pulis, kaya nakatulong ang police matter sa pag-evict ko sa kanila. O, buti naman, no? Ayan, so, sige. Tapos yan, sabi niya, pero sabi din ni Edgar sabi niya, thanks for the nutshell. She said, sounds like a career with loads of researching job involved. It's part of it, no? Loads of researching ba yan? O ano rin? Kasi baka
It's loads of problem solving. It's loads of
problem solving. Yan, okay.
Puzzle solving. So, yeah, research comes with it a lot, but as you can see, may mga principles that you repeat over and over again, and at the end of the day, what you're faced with are real practical problems, like what your dad had, and you're gonna find a solution for them that may be a mix of textbook and maybe a little bit of practical problem solving. So that's quite exciting in that. So it's not just research, actually. There's a lot of common sense involved as well, and a lot of having the guts to really push forward with your case.
So ilang years ka na, attorney, sa lawyering mo? More than 10, 12 years ka na? 15 years? Ilang taon ka na?
Fully qualified, plus 2 years na trainee solicitor, and plus 2 years now on and off as an intern. So I've been around in the industry for 10 years.
Wow, kita nyo naman, ha? Ayan. So, tsaka head of litigation yan, no? Kaya proud na proud ako sa kanya. Rudy Librojo ang tawag dito sa UK, Librojo. Good evening, Sir Sonny. Lovely attorney Dana and all kababayans. Very informative and good vibe show. Mabuhay po and stay safe, everyone. Thank you. May question dito. May question pa rito, attorney. Hi, Attorney Dana and Kuya Sonny. Siguro additional info. Nice to see you. Siguro nice to see you and have a peaceful night. Additional info. I used the county court bailiffs before, and I charged the cost to the defendant, and they paid. Is it mandatory to charge it to the defendant, or is it depend to the defendant to pay it to the claimant? Thanks and more power. Yeah. So parang ganun pa.
It depends. It depends, Virginia, to the defendant to pay it. Half the times of possession proceedings, you expect them to be gone by then. When wala na sila, by the time you get it to them, and kahit na may eviction order, you'd have a cost order. Most of the time from practice, hindi na nawawala, nag-abscond na lang. That is possession bailiffs. Iba yung county court bailiffs for yung parang yung enforcement. Yung sabi mo may county court debt county court debt, and you're trying to find yung mga asset niya para makuha mo. That's different as well. That is just enforcement, warrant of goods. Hanap siya ng mga asset ng defendant. Yes, you can put the cost of the bailiffs in there. Mas madaling makuha. Obviously, depende kung may makukuha yung bailiff na realizable asset. Like, most of the time, inahabol nila kotse, ganun.
Kotse? May mga mahal na bisikleta. Pwede na ba yung bisikleta? Yung mga 1,000, ganyan?
1,500? Kita mo, hindi mo makita yung bike nasa loob ng shed minsan. Hindi mo alam kung ano. Pwede makikita yung bailiff. This is from my experience with bailiff. Yeah. I have a bailiff to go and have a look, and they would say, oh, I saw a car there with this registration. They do their due diligence, So, okay, that's worth it. And then, yes, katulad ni Virginia, the bailiff would add their cost and pwedeng malagay dun sa total tally ng utang ng defendant. But it's different from possession. Possession bailiffs is slightly different.
Ayan. Ito si Edgardo talagang nahihilig sa panonood ng TV, no? Ngayon sa atin sa atin kinikwento yung kanyang napanood, which is good. Okay lang 'yan. At least na ilalagay natin sa ano. Pero teka muna, sige. Ay, ilalagay ko muna yung ito yung email address ni attorney para ko sakaling ano, no. Madali lang naman tandaan eh. Dot pala, dash tuloy ako. Dot Quinto. Ayan. Attorney, ikaw na nga magbasa.
d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. So, d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. If nakalimutan nyo, type nyo lang yung DV Solicitors, hanapin nyo sa my team, yung pangalan ko, andun yung email ko din. So,
Ayan,
you'll be able to find it.
Oo. Pupunta lang kayo sa ano, teka muna, pahanapin natin yung DB. But in the meantime, kaya ito na muna, sabi niya, sabi ni Edgardo Cagastian, sabi niya, in the TV program, sabi niya, talagang excited to sa TV program, no? Si Edgardo, mabuhay ka. Ano to? Di ba, ikaw, Notre Dame ka na ano ka, na Dominican, di ba? Hindi.
Apa, Dominican.
Ito Dominican to dahil UST graduate to ng ano ng kanyang accountancy OSTE. Oo. So, ito ang tanong niya. Ang sabi niya, in the TV program, the landlord cannot go inside his place where she grew up. During the day of the eviction, the tenant doesn't want to leave the house, but the bailiff arrived. The tenants were given an hour to bring important items because most of the personal effects is still in the house. The landlord can't destroy the tenant's furniture, etc. for 3 months. Another gastos na naman sa landlord. Ano yan? The landlord cannot destroy the tenant's furniture.
Yung personal effects, so you'd have to give them enough time to take it away. So that's more of making sure na hindi ka mabalikan na inano mo because you say, okay, I'm going to give you this. If not, I'm going to sell it after 3 months. So lots of notices, but yes, that's possible. One of my cases before na akala hindi namin alam kung umalis na sila. And the same way, kailangan namin hintayin. We keep saying, well, we'll wait. We're waiting for you to come back. If you don't come back after X weeks, we're just going to throw away. Kaso may iba doon na parang akala mo personal effect pa. So I said to my client, yung mga parang may sentimental value, tago na lang siguro. But the rest of it, it's more of making sure na hindi ka balikan. And yes, I agree with your sentiment. Minsan parang imbalance yung power. It's a normal sentiment. As I've said, kung gusto mo maging landlord dito, you really have to think it already.
Magpatibay ka ng ano, no? Ng dibdib mo sa mga ganyang bagay, no? Pero hindi pala pretty straightforward pala. Kunyari, may nag-tenant, hindi nagbayad, tas basta-basta mo lang paalisin, o basta marami pang proseso pala, no? Hindi basta-basta, Tony, no? Hindi ka pumapasok sa isip ng mga tenant na teka muna, matigas dito medyo naglilin towards the mga tenant ang batas. Is it parang ganun din ang mga thinking ng mga professional na mga tumitiran na gumagawa ng ganyan na kaya they are empowered?
May ganun. I mean, it's not one. I don't know kung ano talaga yung nasa isip nila, but sometimes even for me myself sa mga cases na I handle, sometimes you think kung alam talaga nila, may mga nag-aabuso ng preference ng law, ng favor ng law, ng pro-tenant law na to. You feel sometimes nag-aabuso talaga. And I think the same, minsan talaga may mga tao lang. I don't think, there are instances where it's subject to human frailties na open sa abusa.
Bagong Tagalog yan. Open sa abusa para female na abuso, no?
British.
Okay. Okay. Oy, alam mo, hindi, 'di ba yung word na babae yung puta? 'Di ba puta? It's puta is a prostitute.
Grown up?
No. Puta, kasi kaya lang, sa Spanish, pag lalaki, puto eh. Puto, ganyan, di ba? Alam mo ba yan? Alam mo ba
Ano
yun?
ba yung puso?
Hindi,
Hindi ko po alam na ganun.
hindi, hindi, at ito lang, hindi, wala akong masamang ano lang, binabanggit lang, objective lang ako kami rito. Yung puta, the word puta, for example, a bitch. Pero, o kaya ano, di ba? Cheap na ano. Pag lalaki pala sa Spanish, puto.
Talaga?
Oo,
Ano,
puto,
puta,
gano'n. Imbis na
ay,
babae, di ba? Puta, ganyan, di ba? Sa lalaki, puto. Gano'n. Kaya, akala ko sabi mo, yung abuso, tsaka abusa. Tama ba yun? Abuso? Were you saying abuso? In a feminine sense? Ha?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Oo, parang sabi mo, imbis na abuso, sabi mo, abusa. Tama ba?
Nag-aabos ako.
Nag-aabusa.
I think I'm
Abusado, inaabuso.
Abusado, exactly. Abusado. That's what I was talking.
Ayan, okay. Ayan, nakakatuwa ako kami ni attorney. Nako, sabi ni thank you attorney Dana and Sir Sonny, sabi ni Mike sa sabi niya, yun nga kung email, yes, I will email something like that, no? Tena, i-flash natin yung email mo para makita. Ayan, okay. D.Quinto, ayan. At dvsolicitors.com. Ayan. Ay, dito matutuwa ka sa next message natin, attorney. Baka, ito matutuwa ka. Ito next message from RG Minodin. Sabi niya, good evening po, Sir Sonny, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Dana. Ito, hindi ba pa pala makikita ito? Ayan. Ito, sabi niya, hello po, good evening Kuya Sonny and Attorney Dana. You siguro look like a teenager. Sana malipat ako dyan sa London. Siguro makita ka. Please greet my sister Lourdes Menodin. Thank you po. Kita mo, mukha ka raw teenager. No?
Lourdes, good evening. 33 na ako, Lourdes, by the way.
pero attorney, napapagyaman lang ka siguro mga nasa teens ka, no?
Sometimes I think kung hindi ako nakasuit po, kung running attire or naka-casual, I think sometimes napagkamalan ako 16 years old sa Spain.
Kita mo yan? Pero pag umaakit ka ng bundok, because di ba, minsan attire mo talaga parang very rugged na, di ba? Yun, lalo kang babata noon. So yun, napagkamala ka siguro talagang teenager siguro doon, no? So 16 ka sa Spain. Spanish tong bumati sa atin actually. Spanish to, attorney, no?
Ano ba? Buenas noches.
Tama nga ba, RG, no? Hindi ko alam kung sa Spain. Kasi nanonood ako ng I was watching, Dana, itong I was watching itong Vivir Sin Permiso. Ang translation niya, nakalimutan ko. Kasi, vivir, parang to live without permission, parang to live without permission. Anyway, so yun, no? Pinanood ko yun na 20 episodes yata yun, no? Na diyan ako nagsisisi ako pagka lagi ako na mislead, no? May papanoorin ako isang palabas, akala ko solo lang na film. Gusto ko talaga film lang kasi na-waste ng time ko sa series dahil pagkatapos ng isang episode, gusto mo malaman yung susunod eh. Pagkatapos ng pangalawang episode na tinesting mo, gusto mo naman malaman yung susunod. Kaya, Diyos ko, ubos ang oras.
20 hours later.
Diba?
Live without talaga.
Unauthorized living yata ang niya, ang English niya version, ang niya.
Kaya, buenas noches, tama ba? Buenas tardes?
Diyan ako nalilito yung buenos at saka buenas eh. Dahil buenas tardes, buenos dias, parang good morning.
Yes.
Oo.
Yeah.
So taga Spain, tama-tama. So napagkamalaki 16 sa Spain, tama-tama ang nag-message taga Spain. So
Gracias.
Yan. So ito naman si Edgar, sabi niya, thank you Kuya Sonny and Attorney Dana, very very informative. Let's call this Happy Tuesday. Tuesday. We made the right choice of watching. Thank you Edgardo, no?
Nakakatawa si Edgardo. Edgardo talaga very very participative. Appreciate namin yung mga input mo tsaka yung mga case studies. It's really good.
Hindi, schoolmate natin yan. Schoolmate mo yan eh. Kumbaga, Dominican, no? Biro mo yan, Dominican siya.
Meron po kaming ganun eh, tatak Dominicano. Yeah.
Ayan. Ako nung university, Dominicano. Nung high school ako, pero Notre pa rin pala tayo, attorney. Notre Dame, pero Oblates kami. OMI ang Notre Dame of Manila. Pero so Oblates ako at saka Dominicano. Ayan. So
Dominican.
kaya kami ni attorney dikit kami niyan dahil siya ay abogadang Dominicana at saka Notre Dame, ha? No?
Sabi niya,
Damer. Damer yan.
Gamer. Ganyan.
Yes.
Yes.
Ayan,
Right. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday ngayon,
Choose- Choose
Tuesday.
to be happy.
Oh,
Choose to be happy.
if you want to choose to be happy, watch the Legal Advice Corner. Dahil aside from law, we talk about some at iba pa, 'di ba? Parang pati si attorney kita mo updated sa Sunday ba 'yon na marami because of the 'di ba? Itong mga app na 'di ba? Sabi mo nung na-release yung app, nagkaroon ng problema or something. They found out ilan 20,000? Ano sabi mo?
22,000 yung ano natin on Sunday, Mr. Laragan. It's 22,000.
Ano, yung parang cases, recorded cases or reported cases. Oo. Kasi today, dahil nainggit ako, sabi mo, ngayon tumaas ng 7,000. Remember the last time we've spoken? Ito ang highest,
that's
ganon. Tapos, teka muna, baka mag-uusap kami ni Attorney Dana ngayon. Baka sabi, banggitin na naman yung, tinanong ako, hindi ko alam ang sagot nung sa Although nabasa ko, ay nanonood ako ng news, 14,000. So, okay lang. Ayun. Pero yung Sunday, at least nabanggit mo. So, mabuhay. Okay, well, anything goes ho rito. May dinidiscuss si attorney, pero it's anything goes. Now, we concentrated itong mga tenant, no? Ayan.
Ang daming tenant ngayon. And talagang hot topic siya ngayon. For some reason, kahit ngayon, today I had a couple of inquiries as well. Marami. It's just a hot topic these days. Madaming nag-default, madaming hindi nagbayad, madaming landlord na, also in financial difficulty. So, it's a hot topic at the moment. It will remain a hot topic during COVID crisis. So, we will come back to that. Yung mga questions, keep it coming. Nakakatuwa po. Case studies, yung mga case studies nyo, mga napanood nyo, narinig nyo, just share it here. And we'll try to clarify, we'll try to explain, bigay ko yung sarili kong experiences. I will also give you full and frank advice. So, here with Happy Tuesday. Yes.
Pero attorney, kunyari, halimbawa, yung mga, ito kunyari, nahulugan ka ng pot ng plant, naglalakad yung isang Pilipino, may fourth floor, nahulugan. Ano ang mangyayari doon? Anong kaso yun? Kunyari, nahulugan siya na hospital, kung ano-anong nangyari sa kanya. Ano yun? Parang damages, physical injury? Makukulong ba yung nakahulog ng paso sa second or third floor?
It depends kung talagang may criminal intent, but I only deal with civil, so I will answer yung civil. So, to pass by sa criminal, kung may criminal intent, kung talagang binuhos niya, and nakakita.
Kung nahulog, kung binuhos, iba yun, may criminal intent. Kung nasagi lang, nahulog sa, kunyari sa kababayan natin Pilipino.
Kahit hinulog niya, so may criminal, but we can do civil side as well as a personal injury. Kung talagang nasagi, halimbawa, nilagay lang. And I will tell you about, for me, one of the saddest cases I've read. Favorite case of this particular case. This is called occupier's liability. As, kumbaga, ikaw yung may-ari, ikaw yung main in control ng isang premises.
Okay.
You are the one who has responsibility to keep it safe. So yung mga ferns o mga pots of plants nyo na nakahang dyan, make sure na hindi siya secured siya. The test is, are you keeping it reasonably safe yung premises mo? You're not meant to look at it 24 hours a day na hindi mahuhulog yung mga plants mo. In the same vein, you're just looking reasonably safe. In public, but yung bigger businesses, most of the time sila yung sinusuwe kasi yung parang mas malaki yung premises nila, mas malaki yung risk. The test is kung nag-follow ba sila ng health and safety standard. Not kung talagang tinitigan nila yung paso na yun na make sure nila 24/7 hindi mahuhulog. It's have they followed the proper health and safety standard procedure there. Kung na-prove nila sa papel nila na nililinis nila yung paso, make sure nila na nakaayos naman yung mga paso, talagang nagkaroon lang, for example, ng napakalakas na wind, unforeseeable, it's highly likely na na-prove nila they've done everything they reasonably can. And pwede na wala kang claim. I'll tell you.
Wala pang claim yun, nahulugan ka na. Basta sinabi nun na hinangin, we did due diligence, o parang care, may sa batas yan, di ba, na terminology. Oo.
And I'm gonna go kung gaano ka, how would I say this, very hard, it may seem heartless, it may seem na napaka-tragic. It's a case of, I think, it's a council, it's a government council versus family ng namatayan. I think a
Ah,
parent
namatay.
and
Namatay.
namatay
Namatay
talaga.
talaga.
A
Nahulugan siya
parent,
na, ano nahulog? Paso?
hindi, branch po.
Branch na puno?
Branch ng puno. Yeah, branch ng puno.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And what they said is actually na-produce nung council. I think it was a council. I can't remember, but I'll come back with the case. But it's one of the cases na talagang nagulat ako. Sabi ko, wow.
Oo.
Wow. Ganun talaga yung reasonable skill and care. Kasi na-prove ng council na tinry naman
Ah,
nila,
yung council ang
inayos naman
sinusunong
nila.
family.
Sinusunod sila ng family, sinasabi ng family, you didn't keep it reasonably safe yung environment, hindi nyo inano, but uh, ganun ka ano yung ano na yon, yung tree na yon. Actually, they produced documents. May gardener sila, may ganito sila, they kept it reasonably safe. And yung, I think yung mabot ata Court of Appeal or very higher courts, and the court will say, it's tragic, it's really tragic. But
Wow, talagang
unfortunately,
tragic.
we have to stick with that criteria. Just by, ito yung pinaka na anuhan, and I've seen it over and over again, us lawyers trying to point this, this, this legal point across na just because nasaktan ka, and this is going to sound very
Harsh.
cold,
Okay, okay.
that's because, and hard as well, just because nasaktan ka, you do not have an automatic claims court. You still have to prove that the other side was negligent, that the other side has failed this standard. Yung standard na yun, it may be na nasaktan ka, pero the other side has maintained the standard. And unfortunately, wala kang claim sa ganon. And when is it? Ano yung mga situation na yun? Just like in that unfortunate situation sa park, they kept it tidy, they kept what they need to do according to the law. Ito yung kailangan nila gawin sa gardening nila, they need to do it every few weeks. They did that. Unfortunately, something happened, the branch fell off, it hit a child, and he or she died. And there was no claim.
Sa Pilipinas naman, nagkaroon ng kasong ganyan, no? Yung dinimanda ng family yung gobyerno dahil namatay yata yung, hindi ko alam kung postman or whatever yung guy, o police, nahulog sa imbornal yung buta, kasi wala yung cover. So they
Yeah,
sued the
wala yung cover.
government, pero nanalo naman sila, no? Dahil
Guys, yeah,
siyempre, iba ito kasi napabayaan wala sigurong
that's
cover yung
separate.
ano, yung 'di ba, yung imbornal. Oh, so
Exactly, that is
eto naman
separate. So,
parang na-prove ng local government ng council na they exercise due care and diligence yan, tama no? Diyan sa ano,
they don't need to
tapos
do
so
everything that
teka
they
muna,
can.
anong
They
nangyari?
don't need
Aksidente yon. Aksidente, parang pinalalabas na force. Ano ba nangyari? Bakit? Hinangin ba o ano ba nangyari?
to do a tragic accident.
Ah, okay.
And the council was not legally liable to pay them any compensation.
Hindi ko maalala, attorney, kung meron nangyari dito dyan sa may isang building dyan sa ano dito sa may bandang Battersea eh. Yung mga cranes ba, nagbi-build ng building sa Battersea? Nagki-crane, nagbi-building. I
Yeah,
don't know what happened. There was, basta dito sa UK, something happened na bumagsak eh. Nawala, I don't know kung hindi naman, nagkaroon na ba ng earthquake dito? Hindi ko alam kung earthquake o bagyo o something. Nahulog yun. Tinamaan yung mga,
yeah.
may mga tao sa baba. No? Ayun, medyo ano na siguro yun. No? But,
I'll tell you kung yung kailangan mong evidence doon. What they look at that is yung crane. Kung na-maintain ba yung crane. Kung ano ba yung mga maintenance ng crane. If they kept a log na maayos pa yung crane every 2 months, every 3 months, there might be technical inspection. So what I normally ask from the other side, kung ako yung ano doon, is I'd ask for all the technical inspections sa crane na yun.
pwede, parang ano may isang nangyari, hindi ko alam kung bagyo o lindol o hindi ko matandaan eh. Basta ganun eh. Even then?
Even if you can't,
Ah, okay, okay.
because it's reasonably foreseeable, yung bagyo and storm here in the UK, to be honest, winds are, naghahawl yung winds dito, it's not unreasonable. So, you'd have to say, it's not, kung may would it be reasonable for them to also keep that maintained and keep that the structural integrity ng crane na yon on the basis na malakas yung wind sa UK. So you look at that and you look at they're passing the technical test, if they're passing what they call a strength test, yung vulnerability test nila, and you have to look at, I'm sure may technical inspection requirements yan. So you have to ask for those logs kung makikita mo na it was followed and were there, may risk ba? Nag-flag na ba yung risk? May nakita doon, ay, nahulog, sinabi ng engineer, nahulog last month, but they didn't do anything about it. And that's what I'll be looking for. That's what the lawyer is going to be looking for. Not just by the fact na nahulog siya and may sinaktan siya. You actually have to go back and do your step by step kung maintain ba yung train na yun in the circumstances surrounding it.
Okay, ayan. Ito, Virginia, sabi niya, ito, pabilisan lang natin, at medyo ano, no? Virginia, sabi ni Virginia, asa na nga ba? Andiyan na ba? Wala pa, no? Wala pa. Si Virginia, ayan. Sabi ni Virginia, sabi niya, hi, Attorney Dana and Kuya Sonny, additional questions. In money claim, if the judgment was in the favor of the claimant and the defendant really don't want to pay the debt, can the claimant request the MCOL to freeze the account of the defendant? Thanks a lot. Ano yung MCOL?
Money claims online. You can have not just the money claims online, Virginia. It's open to all claims. We call it enforcement proceedings. Yes, you can do third-party information first. Kung alam mo yung ano, you can ask for access to third-party debt order. You can ask for that. Hindi yun ang favorite namin. What our favorite is to attach it to a charging order. Kung meron silang bahay, we like to put it there sa bahay nila, i-attach yung judgment doon. Kung may malaking current account sila, yes, by all means, may third-party debt order. And what I mentioned earlier is attachment of earnings. So you'll ask me, paano ko naman malalaman yung mga impormasyon na yan, Dana? So actually, you can ask for an information hearing. Pwede kang mag-ask after the judgment to say, summons siya ng korte and sabihin, so magkano yung, what's your means? Ano ba yung, are you working? Ano ba yung mga account mo? May bahay ka ba? So they can do a financial information hearing to enforce your claim. So marami kang options, hindi lang yan, at hindi lang money claims online ang pwede nating i-request yan. So it's available throughout the whole court system.
Ayan. Well, si Edgar Duay sabi niya, happy vibes Tuesday with a very refreshing smile of Attorney DQ. Uy, Attorney, nanalo ako. Ako kung saan award to, no? Pero nanalo ako ng award to. Social Media and Entertainment category. Good vibes from the One Philippines Awards.
Very good. Very well deserved, Mr. Laragan.
I don't know kung ito yung si Edgar sinuhulan yung mga judges dito, no? Dahil good vibes eh. So, siyempre, kakampi ko yan pag ano, di ba? Hindi ko alam kung may pinalabas na pera tong si Edgar dyan, no? Na dahil sa kanya, nakuha ko yung award na yan, no? Alam mo kasi mga ibang award kasi nabibili eh. Pero ito kaya nabili. Edgar, thank you ha. Alam ko, binili mo tong award para sa akin. Maraming salamat. No? Thank you very much. Maraming pera yan.
Seriously, we're very proud of you, Mr. Laragan. We're all, yung presence mo, you know, the way you would conduct and kumbaga i-marshal yung
nag-blush ako.
Positive.
Attorney, nag-blush ako. Ikaw naman. Nakakatawa. Well, thank you naman. Oh, that's nice.
You know, it's always, Tuesday is quite a long day, and it's been an extra busy day. So I'm so sorry, may mga hinihintay ng mga ano, but yung pagdating mo dito, para ka nare-refresh, hindi lang yung mga kayo din, yung mga natin, yung kwentuhan natin with mga kababayan. It's actually very refreshing.
Pero alam mo, Attorney, ito hindi ko pero alam mo siguro pagka na dumating yung Tuesday at alam lang mamaya sila Sonny Laragan at saka si Dana Quinto, mangingiti na sila si Attorney dahil andyan na naman yung bagong-bago batang-bata naming abogado, makikita na. Kaya pag sisimula na yung pulabas na yung show natin, nakangiti na yan, nakaabang na yung mga yan, namamangha kami, batang-bata yung abogado natin. And of course, she talks sense, talagang mahusay itong ating abogada, no? Very, very proud din kami sa'yo.
Nerd talaga ako by heart. I'm a real nerd. Geek talaga ako by heart. So, I love sharing yung mga trivia na yon, maliliit
Mm.
na cases. I remember little things. So
Mm.
in that way, nakakatuwa na people are interested, nakakatuwa na may input sila, nakakatuwa din yung input niyo. So for me, hindi lang po ako yung nagbibigay, nakakatanggap din po ako ng good vibes. I am very, very grateful.
Ayan, well, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Kaya Tuesday tayo, they choose they've chose their time, they've spent time with us, and hindi naman sila sayang dahil maski paano, yung kanilang ganyan, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, may natutunan sila. May natututunan din tayo sa kanila. Kamukha ko, kaya ano yung MCOL? Oh, at least nalaman ko na ngayon, no? Ayan.
Dami na natin.
Di ba? Sabi ni si Virginia, sabi niya, Hi Attorney Dana and Kuya Sonny, additional questions. In money claim, if the judgment was in the favor, teka muna, tapos na ba yun?
It's the same. It's the same
The same, sorry.
question.
But mukhang sinipag yun. Siguro parang ginanahan mag-type siguro. Inulit yung kanyang message, no?
Dalawang time.
Dalawang beses daw. Thank you. Oo, yung pag-type. Ayun, maraming salamat. Ayan. Ayan, si RG Minodin, thank you very much, no? So, ayan, sandali, ha? So, okay na yan. Nakakatuwa talaga na at least andin yung ating mga kababayan, no? Na nagbibigay din sa atin, nagfi-feed din sila, and they feed sa atin, no? In fact, yang si, maswerte ka, attorney, ha? Well, I said, maswerte tayo, maswerte ka. Dahil yang si Virginia, minsan nanonood yan yung mga replay natin. Oh, for her to watch our show live, andiyan ka, nakakatuwa talagang gusto niyang, ayaw niya yung excitement, gusto niya kasama siyang nandun sa excitement, no? Habang nag-unfold yung palabas, di ba? Yung mga questions and ano.
Now,
no? Ayan, so thank you.
By the way, Mr. Rani, you keep asking me about running. So before we sort of wrap it up, I've decided to go back na pressure ata ako. Hindi naman. So I'm gonna try to train for Malta Marathon.
Malta?
In February.
Sa Malta?
Po, yeah.
Oh, okay, wow. Teka muna, you have how many months to prepare now? So ngayon ay October, November, December, January, February, at least mga 5 months, no?
Minsan kasi ginawa mong public, so you can't, parang ma-hold accountable ka, kaya sinasabi ko na
gusto mo para may commitment talaga. Oo nga, para tama yan. Tama, somebody's gonna check on you. Kamusta na? Binabila na kumusta ka? Naman sa training mo, no? After a month after. Okay. Pero teka muna, attorney, when the last time we talked, may mga advantages sa iyo yan because yung breathing mo, because nga, di ba, meron kang asthma, no? Oo. So, ngayon, kumukha, hindi ka nakakatakbo. Ano ngayon? Has it affected your health?
Yes, in some ways, feeling mo kasi parang, alam mo yun, hindi ka masyado ganun ka-loose. When you're fully active, you do feel na talagang mas, attuned ka sa body mo. So, I think more so just to get back into fitness as well. I think lahat tayo, alam mo yun, it has been quite a year. So, nag-ano din ako to hopefully, kasi nakita ko si Ed Maple ba yun? I've been seeing him sa Ed Maple ata yun. I don't know.
Pinoy Runners?
Nakita ko lang siya. Pinoy Runners. Yeah, Pinoy Runners. Nakaka-inspire. Nakaka-inspire mga Pinoy Runners. And so, it's just also to take part dun sa ng community natin. So let's see kung
sakali maawa ang Diyos, you will be able to have some good preparation. May good preparation ka, halimbawa pang ilang marathon mo na to? Kung sakasakali maawa ang Diyos.
It's gonna be the 4th one, I think. It's gonna be the 4th full marathon. The 5th January.
Hindi kaya ako natawa kasi baka maski isang marathon hindi ko pa maabot no. Maaring kung pwede maglakad no. Okay lang, lalakarin ko siguro run and walk no. Pwede lang siguro.
I promise you, kahit sino, it is doable. It is
really?
Doable. Nung nagmamarathon ako, it's so inspiring kasi may mga matatanda na mas mabilis pa po sa akin after a few miles.
Talaga?
Talagang nakakagala, mabilis pa sila sa akin. But, you want to cheer them on and it really is, it's a beautiful show of humanity. For me, yun yung para sa akin. It's, I really want to finish. I want to see other people finish. I want yung good vibes doon, yung happy Tuesday, parang gano'n.
Pero yan ba, attorney, tumatakbo ka parang you wanna give up, tapos may second win ka? O paano ba yan?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Or third or fourth.
Oo,
Yeah, they
gano'n.
definitely. Personally, I think first marathon ko, I think about 20, so mga about 40, so it's about 42 kilometers, siguro nasa 35, wala na, tas sakit ng pa ako, yung may bruise na ako. I had the wrong
Mm,
shoes, it was my first
mm.
marathon, rookie mistakes. I felt I don't know if I can finish. It was so hot. And then you take it once, you literal talaga, I don't want to sound na parang
Hmm.
cliche, but literally one step at a time. And you look at, ito yung sa akin, I look at the next three, and I will say to myself, punta lang tayo doon sa next three. And then I will look at myself, the next na three or next na bata na i-high five mo. Yung kita mo yung bata, high five ko yan. Kita mo na naman yung matanda, high five ko yan. Tapos makita mo yung ano, yung pag for me, yung kainan. So may inuman ng tubig and may mga fruits or may mga ano. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go as fast as I can. And then you repeat that. You repeat that, and then you'll find yourself, hala, almost always, if you reach 40 or 42 kilometers, if you reach about the last 38, mentally, you're fine. You're just gonna push on kahit ganun ka, ano, kahit maglakad ka, you just, may mga cut off, but for me, if
What?
I reach a certain
Oo.
level, 3 kilometers, you won't let that, unless injured ka. So, mas bumibilis ka. Actually, ako bumibilis ako sa last two
Oo.
kilometers kasi
Gano'n?
actually
Oh,
nagigising ka pero
oo.
eto na talaga gusto ko nang
Oo.
umuwi.
Ayun.
Nagugutom na ako. Yeah.
Wala ka bang kasama? Di ba yan magkakasama kayo na naghihintayan kayo? Parang baka may cellphone pa, tumatakbo may cellphone. Dana, nasa ka na? Katatapos ko lang sa pang-apat na tree. Hindi, di ba?
May,
Dito na kami sa sa 7-3 kami ha. Dito, ganyan, hantay ka namin dito. Kanya-kanya nga. When you start out, your buddies, your friends, pero pagtakbo niya, parang it's every individual parang individual hurdle yan eh. Parang ganun. Na you're doing it on your
ano
own.
ako solo ako. I was on my own. But ito yung nakakatuwa. Sa starting line, you feel like you're friends with people na strangers na
Mm.
kasama mo. Kasi medyo matagal yung 30 minutes yung build-up no, nilalamig ka.
Oo.
Europe pa naman. So, parang galaw-galaw ng konti. You start talking. Everyone on their own. And one of in Hamburg, si Dorte. Hello,
Hamburg.
Dorte.
Nag-Hamburg ka? Tumakbo ka sa Hamburg? Germany?
Tumakbo ko sa
Aba,
Hamburg.
international runner ka pala, attorney ha? So Malta, ngayon papunta sa Maawan Diyos, tapos Hamburg, saan ka pa galing?
I did Edinburgh. Yung first
Oh,
one ko is Edinburgh.
okay.
I did Hamburg second, and then I did France. I've
Uy,
gone sa France
France.
as well. So Vineyard Marathon. Grabe din naman. Inom ka ng wine habang I stopped. I had
Umiinom
wine.
ka ng champagne. Sorry, sa vineyards?
No, wine. Oh,
Wine,
the
wine.
vineyards. The wine. So you run
Hindi
around.
ba mas masarap tumakbo pag lasing ka na?
Mukha nga, yung mga French.
Pero hindi mo kaya, baka madali ka na malasing noon.
Ay, hindi talaga.
Okay,
Yung
okay.
first
Hmm.
checkpoint. Hindi.
Hindi pala. Okay, well, nakakatuwa pala. Pwede pala mag-running ng wine pala, iniinom, no?
They were very good at it. The
Oo nga,
French were very.
Wow.
It was fun. It was fun. So, what I would like to invite you sa Hamburg, I started with this lady Dorte. Hindi ko po siya kilala. Taga
Mm.
Germany siya.
Mm.
And lang kami. We carried on. We say hello over 42 kilometers. We finished almost at this. Nagulat kami. Uy, andito ka.
Mm.
Sabay tayong, and then we became friends, social media friends. And until now, it's been 3 years or 4 years. Hi, hello, would greet happy birthday. And that's all the interaction we had. We
All right.
started the marathon together and we finished it together. And
Magkikita ba kayo sa, magkikita kayo sa Malta?
no, we're not. We're just, it was just a memory. Kasi sobrang hirap
Okay.
Hamburg na yun. Yung Hamburg na yun, we had 4 seasons throughout the race. And feeling mo talaga parang, kumpadre o parang kaano mo talaga sila. You survive something together. It's very, very
Oo,
special.
para kayo meron kayong parang fraternity o sorority, basta parang ganon, di ba? Parang meron
We were strangers.
Oo.
We hugged. Yung pain, yung relief, yung to go through 4 seasons, to go through 42 kilometers of running, you feel an extreme connection
Wow.
with people you did it with. So it's very special for that one. So I think na miss ko yun, and because we kept talking about it, so maybe that's something that we can talk about and share.
Ta-
And hindi ako expert. I wouldn't call
Oo.
myself expert.
Pero
I,
tanong,
I yeah, go on.
ano mas mabilis? Madali sa akin, tatakbo ng 42 kilometers or aakit ako ng Ben Nevis halimbawa? Ano pa ba mga medyo may challenges? Which would be easier for me to hurdle? To climb a mountain
Um,
or to run the marathon at 42 na marathon?
I would say personally,
Mm.
personal experience
Oo.
ko, the marathon is harder. The marathon,
Oh, so harder yon. So
it's
kailangan muna akit muna ako ng bundok kasama ka
ito
tsaka si
muna.
Edgar Duway, no? Bundok muna. Oo, okay.
Kayang kaya, Mr. Sunny, yung marathon na yun, it's a miracle in humanity. It's a miracle in mental fortitude. Anyone can
Oo.
do it.
Hindi kasi
Anyone
building of
can do it.
stamina yan, building of endurance, 'di ba? Lahat na. No? Parang
Yeah.
which is good, no? Nako, Diyos
And
ko.
you see
Sige.
so many special people doing it. They're doing it for their loved ones. They're doing it for
So
charity. They're doing it for something.
so
So
yung
I might
mga
do it for charity, do it for something. Or I might do it just for you, just for the
oh,
Pinoy Radio DP. Para
wow.
malagay
Na ba,
natin yung
nakaipo-broadcast natin 'yan. Pero teka muna, you talking of 42K, may nakakita ko mga 5K, 5K, 10K, 10K. Ayan. Yeah, so yan parang ini-snap-snap mo na siguro yan, no? Wala na sa yan, no?
Ay, hindi po. Oo, hindi po. Ano lang ako, talagang, I don't run fast. I like yung training. So, I don't run a lot of races. I would pick one race for the year, and I would have a training regimen for it. But yes, up to a point, if you're doing about 20, yung mileage mo mag-increase. Hindi naman sa e-snab mo yan. Tumataas lang yung, ano mo, yung pain capacity mo. So, it will still be very special. I think, for me, yung 5K, yung 42K, or 100K, it's the same.
Wait,
It is the same in your mind.
mm.
Ganun. Pareho lang yung point. Kumbaga, I'm running from one tree sa akin, one tree to another, parang me to the next biscuit, to the next orange juice. For me, it's all about having digestible na mga goals when you're running. And it's special. It's
Mm.
pretty special. You have to do it for yourself. You don't compare yourself with others. Do it to have that barrier out na hindi mo kaya. Because I
Anong
really promise you. And
oh, gaano katagal ang tinatakbo? Ha? Gaano katagal mo tinatakbo yan? Nasa anong average mo? Ilang hours ang average mo? Ha?
4 hours 30, nasa plus 4 hours ako, above 4 hours po ako. So,
So
I'm the slow.
mga 4 hours. Do sa 4
4
hours na
hours
yun,
po.
do you drink a lot of water before running? Or do you don't because baka halfway to, midway through, maghahanap ka na ng, ng comfort room o ng restroom. Na-experience ba na runner yan that they feel like parang in the meron ba along the route?
May mga, meron at some point, or you have to be prepared to do the wild toilet thing na ginagawa natin sa Pilipinas sa
Oo.
it's part of running. It's part of running.
Pero ano routine mo? Do you drink a lot of water or are you fearful that it might happen to you or do you just rely on the water along the route?
So what you do is you have your own hydration system. So you make sure 4 hours before the race you have your food, so that you do your thing in the morning.
Oo.
Andyan yung carbs mo. So you actually start yung hydration. Some of them starts hydrating 3 days before. 3 days before, not the day before. So you start drinking loads of water 3 days before. Naka-up na yung hydration ng buong katawan mo for 3
Oo.
days. 4 hours before, you do your final wee
Hydration?
for a few hours, a few minutes before the race time. Everyone knows their body. By this time, you've been training for 8 weeks to 12 weeks. Alam mo na kung ano yung sistema mo.
Mhm.
And alam mo na, may mga toilet along the way actually. Most of the
Mhm.
big races have toilets along the way. You bring your hydration system, you bring your gels, yung mga
Mhm.
sugar mo. But also, don't bring too much kasi mabigat yun. So you want to stay light. And minsan may masarap na Coke or may masarap na orange juice, so you might want to pick it up. And everyone says, stop. Stop or walk and drink it properly kaysa mabulunan ka kasi mas malaking problema yon. So, yeah, so you have your own, everyone has their own way, really. Alamin mo yung body mo, alamin mo kung anong nagre-react. But
Mm-mm.
I have a weird habit. I eat Thai food the night before the race.
Oh, really?
I eat banana and peanut butter 4 hours before, and I have a little gel 20 minutes before. So, depende.
Ay,
Kanya-kanyang,
yun ang carbs mo,
kanya-kanyang
yung, di ba protein yung peanut butter? And then, ano pa, anong carbs mo? Peanut
protein
butter?
banana po. Peanut
Banana.
butter and
Yun
it's
ang,
easy. It's slow release na sugar, and you don't want to over sugar. I have my coffee. Very important yung coffee para magising yung katawan. And depende kung ano yung system ko noon, yung ano yung nutrition
did,
system. It just
oo.
depends on what I like.
Did you get into this after running your probably, siyempre, second, third you were sort of coming up with this mga routine mo na talaga o kakainin mo?
So, yeah,
Ganun na.
yeah, you
Okay.
develop that.
All
You
right.
develop your habit, you develop your routine. Yeah. So you see what works best for
It,
you. So it's fun. It's fun.
oh,
It's
all right.
it's a beautiful show of humanity. It really is worth doing. Anyone can do it.
Nako,
Talaga, anyone can do it.
maganda yun. Medyo na push tayo. Anyone can do it, no? Wala.
Anyone can do it. Kaya yan.
Ito
So
sabi ni
yeah.
Edgar Duay,
I'll see
let's
you next year
organize.
sa Malta.
Ano yan, attorney?
I'll see you next year sa Malta or
Oh,
London
oh,
Marathon.
oh,
Yan,
oh. Pero hindi yung sa Malta
London.
pa. Siguro kung magkakaroon another Malta, baka pwede na tayo. Kaya ba ng somebody from zero yung from October to February, no? Do you have to pay? Do you have to register ganyan? Kailangan may place ka na ron. You cannot just turn up the day before, ganun. Hindi pa pwede 'yon, no?
You have to
Hindi pa pwede.
register as early as possible. And yun lang yung ano ngayon is hopefully COVID will be will allow us ano na. So that's the only thing. But we have to live. So
Oh.
let's take chances.
Oo nga. Okay. Sabi ni Edgar lang, ano lang natin, let's organize a Philippine Marathon UK for Dementia Charity or for Veterans Charity. Ayan. Okay.
Yes,
Well,
yes,
mukhang
yes.
marathon. Pero akit muna ako bago mag-marathon. No? Akitin ko muna yung mga... Kung ako'y aakyat ng bundok, saan mo ako gustong paakitin? Unang-una
Ben
ko for...
Nevis, go for Ben Nevis. Go for Ben Nevis straight away. Kaya mo yan. Kaya.
Okay.
We'll go with you. We'll go with you.
Ano to, meron ako nakita sa TV ngayon, nakasuot siya ng suit ng hindi ko lang 3 picks. Samaan 3 picks, doon ba 'yon? Sabi nga
Ben Nevis,
oo.
Chapel Pike, and Fredonia.
Oo.
Yeah.
Sabi nito ni yung ating very good friend na he came in late, no, but he is apologizing, no. Sabi niya, magandang gabi po, Sir Sonny and lovely Dana and everyone. Happy Tuesday. Late coming online today. Just got back from the cinema. Sonny, I think you should do the 3 Peaks Challenge. Ayan, Dana, I will be emailing you soon. Ayan.
Thank you, Ranjit.
Sige.
Thank you. Keep so kind. Yes, you should do the 3 peaks.
Sige.
You should do the 3
Bakit 3 peaks? Dahil merong 3 peaks yon? O merong easy peak?
No, it's the highest in England. So, di ba dahil dito, England, Scotland, and Wales. So, you do the 3 highest peaks. Highest in England, highest in Scotland, highest in Wales within 24 hours. Pretty crazy, but it's good.
3 peaks. Okay, so yung highest sa Scotland, highest sa England, highest sa Wales.
Correct.
Ayun.
Correct, yeah.
Ano saan ang highest sa England?
Scafell Pike. Sa Lake District po.
Scafell Pike? Scattel.
Pike.
Sa Wales. Scafell. Oh, saan ang Wales? Scalpel. Parang yung sa
Scafell po. Scafell.
Hindi ba? Sige. So Wales, ano sa Wales, bale? Mataas.
Snowdonia.
Have you been there already? Have you been to Snowdonia,
I've
to
done-
yung Scalpel na yan, at saka Ben Nevis? Natapos mo na yung tatlo.
Pwede mo na.
Which is among the 3 is the easiest sa palagay mo? Ano pinaka-easiest?
I don't know kung easy siya, but siguro dahil favorite ko siya, yung scalpel na tinatawag niyo, Scafell Pike. Siya yung pinaka-short, I think. It was the shortest. It was a bit, medyo rocky, but ang ganda ng ano ang ganda ng view
Maganda view.
nung
O sige.
kasi parang sunset ang ganda.
Okay. So, aakyatin ko yan. Gagawa ko na YouTube channel ko mismo. Wala pa ako YouTube channel na Sunny Laragan. O ipopost ko ron, ha.
Sige.
Kailangan panoorin yung, ano pa pangalan? My first peak of 3. Di ba? 3 peaks pala. O, sige,
Yeah,
sige,
sounds
sige.
good.
Oo. Kaya ba yan akyatin bago mag-Malta?
Oh yeah.
Oo.
Okay, yeah.
Do I have to do a great deal of training? Some degree of training? Ano bang dapat kong gawin for
Yeah. You have to. It's a fairly strenuous. It's 5 hours yung Ben Nevis.
No,
Second
yung Ben
bike is
Nevis.
about-
Yung isa lang muna. Yung isa lang, yung mababa.
Second bike 3 to 4 hours din po. May kailangan mo din.
3
Kailangan mo
to
din.
4 hours going one way?
No, both ways.
So 2 hours more or less going up and 2 hours coming down.
Correct,
Pero
yeah.
may mga safe route yan, may mga safe trails yan.
Safety.
Okay. May makikita ba ako when nandun ako sa taas? Will I have a grand view of anything?
On the way, I think, kasi when I summited it, it was 11 o'clock in the evening. Ang nakita ko pong view was yung papunta. When papunta, ang ganda ng kulay. Ang ganda ng kulay.
Bakit ginabi ka? Your intention was to sleep there at that particular night na?
No, I was doing the 3 peaks in 24 hours. So that was my second peak.
Okay. So you got down siguro 1 o'clock in the morning?
Correct, 1 o'clock in the morning. Correct. About 12 to 30 to 1, yeah.
Do you needed flashlights? Siyempre, flashlights o may flashlights sa ulo mong ganun? May...
So,
Alright. And you were doing it with friends or alone?
no, I was doing it alone, but with a group. Kasi wala akong friends na gustong masaditan yun. Masokista na. But I was calling friends. I have to call friends.
Okay. Pero may signal pa rin pagka nawala ako. Kunyari, medyo na may nangyari sa akin. Pero, nahulog ako sa nadulas ako. Pwede pa? May signal pa ba?
Yes, most of the time may signal doon, but you'd still have to take precaution. Hindi naman ganun especially at that time, very busy. Ang daming gumagawa ng ganun.
At 11 o'clock in the evening?
Madami pa ako nakita papunta.
Bakit
So,
summertime? Summertime ba yan?
Correct.
Summertime.
It's
Oo.
the popular time to do it. So
Okay.
it was fun.
Pero teka
As
muna.
for my photos,
Teka muna, the best thing to do, may mga photos ka, the best thing to do is summertime?
yes.
So hindi
yes.
na, wala na. Next summertime na.
Yeah, you're right. Just do a peak. Just do, ano na ba ngayon?
Anong peak?
Pwede pa rin. Just do one mountain. You can do one mountain. Kasi yung scaffold pike, I think it's doable na mag-hike lang, but you have to wear winter clothing.
Winter clothes na.
And do it
Okay.
without snow. Kasi medyo
Without what?
snow. It's
Do it without?
different. Pag walang snow.
Walang snow. Pagka ganyan makit ka ng mga hills or mga mountains, do you carry a lot of water? Parang drinking water, yung water mo, yung mga spring or mineral water?
Water and kape. Because it's cold.
Kape.
It's gonna be cold.
Okay. Para okay.
You wanna have a coffee. So you wanna have a coffee sa summit. That's
Oo.
for me. That's my thing. Have a coffee sa summit.
Okay. Pero would you know na, for example, if you went up yung something, no? Ano yan? Maganda kaya ang view? Have you, maganda kaya?
What you can do is you can look it up. May mga blogs so you can try to find kung ano yung best time to do it. You have weather should be you have to do it na maganda yung weather window para clear yung clouds. So may element ng ganon. You have to do it the right time as well. It's a bit of a lottery kasi andun ka, di ba? Hindi mo naman alam if you book yung holiday, hindi mo naman alam kung maganda yung weather, especially in this district. So it's a little bit dati, nag-abrupt punta ako sa Scotland pag nakita ko may weather window. And talagang, mo yan, hahabulin mo yung weather window para makita mo yung magandang summit.
Right. Okay. So palagay ko, pero teka muna, if you're gonna do it 3 peaks in a day, parang you're traveling kotse na mabilis na kotse siguro yan, no?
Van or kotse, yeah.
Okay. Well, sabi kasi ni Edgar Duay, starting at Ben Nevis sa madaling araw, then travel to Scalfell Pike for 3 hours, then go to Snowdonia. Okay. Well,
Correct. That's how.
isa lang muna, one by one at a time lang. Oo, hindi ko kaya, mahina pa. Alam mo, nahihiya tuloy ako pagka nakikita ka, parang nagiging, na-challenge tuloy ako maging, sabagay, it's good for our health, di ba? Tama. If it's a way of being challenged and to do it, then okay na yan, di ba? So, maganda rin, di ba? Di ba? So, malay nyo, in 2000, 21, siguro, end of 22. 21.
Kaya yan. Kaya. Let's do it.
Oo. Sige, simulan ko muna sa 1K. Di ba? 1K, how many minutes on 1K sa akin siguro? But anyway, we'll do it. So,
We'll do it.
Attorney, teka muna. Naku, napasarap ang kwentuhan natin. Oo, napasarap talaga. Well, okay lang yan, no? Nakakatuwa, no? Ayan, ayun, sa Peak District, ito train ako ni Edgar Duway. Sige.
Yeah.
Oo. Tapos ikaw naman magte-train sa akin sa takbuhan, sasabayan kita, at least merong no? Oo. Let's do it. Oh. I just bought a bicycle, baka sumali din ako sa mountain biking no? Okay na, kompleto na. No? Mga
Very good.
Ayan, oh.
Nag-sporty tayo lahat. That's very good.
Yes, that's good. At least parang health, 'di ba? Exercise, 'di ba? Sabi nga nila, para long life. Okay, well, attorney, napag-usapan natin pagkarami-rami na, napag-usapan natin yung mga tenancy at kung ano-ano pa, at yung mga procedure sa korte, nakakatuwa. At malawak-lawak yung ating mga pinag-usapan ngayon at may mga batang na i-encourage na na-inspire to somehow take up probably your career, hopefully, sana maka-inspire dahil because they look at a very young, successful Filipina, who's a solicitor at mabuhay. Well, okay, attorney, baka meron ka mga shoutouts, mensahe, or anything before we say goodnight? At magpaalam ka na rin.
Congratulations, Mr. Laragan, for this social media awards. I just want to say congratulations to you from us.
Good vibes.
Good Vibes Award. Nakaka-good vibes ka. So for everyone
Yeah.
in the midst of a very, very difficult year, sana we choose the good vibes. We choose the good vibes. And thank you so much for choosing as well to be with us tonight. And hopefully we'll see you again next week. Keep safe and keep healthy.
Yan, I agree. I second the motion. Tuesday ngayon, you chose the right day. And choose not only Tuesday, but every day be part of our show dito, the Sonny Laragan Show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesdays during this day because it's educational ho to, informative, and yung totoong buhay yung pinag-uusapan, hindi lang informative na this is also probably your lives, dahil legal ho to And syempre, pagka may kailangan talaga kayong abogado eventually and kailangan nyo i-pursue ito tuloy-tuloy sa korte or whatever, andyan syempre ang ating pinakamamahal na si Attorney Dana Quinto, At ang DV Solicitors, hindi lamang full service ang kanilang opisina, di ba? Full service kayo, Attorney, di ba? You do everything, Oo.
Yeah, we do everything.
Sa Lurk, number 11 Lurk Street yan, Bedford, MK43HZ. Ayan. Tingnan, tama ba itong, sandali, tama ba itong, ko lang, sandali ha? Tama ba ito? Sandali. Ayan.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka iwi ka na ni Kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay Mister o kay Mrs. Away tungkol sa mana, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at Mayfair House, 11 Lurk Street, Bedford, MK40 3HZ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
Ayan, sorry na i-play ko ng kumpleto, attorney ha. Ayun, so ayun lahat marami ho, full service law office kayo, Deo Volento Solicitors. At nga pala, bago yung logo yata, kailangan baguhin na natin yan, Oo. So, yes, thank you very much, Attorney. Maraming salamat. Thank you, mga kaibigan. Magpapalam ho kami. So, sa ngalan ho ni Attorney Dana Quinto, para sa ating Legal Advice Corner, sa ating resident attorney dito, solicitor, para sa legal advice. At sa ngalan ho ng ating mga kababayan na nagtanong at sumali, nanood dito sa ating palatuntunan, no? Kami nagpapasalamat sa inyong pagtangkilik dito sa ating programa. We will do again Legal Advice Corner next no? It's a Tuesday, no?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, sabi nga, no? And let's do it again then. So till then, Attorney Dana and me saying, thanks for keeping us company. Whatever you do, guys, hit it with your best shot. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you. Have a good night.